Part 9. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 81. My purple energy is activated, and my spiritual ocean also condenses new attributes. Not only did he gain new mental skills, my mental strength has also reached S+. Lu Shu took a long breath, his eyes showing joy. This is undoubtedly a huge improvement for him. SN super spiritual power. You know, Nether possesses spiritual fruits. This kind of divine tree master who is born in the divine tree game and has high spiritual power has only reached a level at this time. However, Lu Shu can use SN level mental power to crush the opponent of almost 2 levels. As for the other sacred tree masters, Lu Shu had pushed them away countless miles away. The power of purple energy can see through the essence of all things. Observe the texture carefully and gain insights. Not only can you see through your opponent's actions, but you can also break through illusions. Gathering huge mental power, he can even use his eye power to create illusions to control the opponent's mind, or directly destroy the opponent at the mental level. It can be used as another S-level ability. This is the special benefit that the profession of cultivating immortals can bring. Lu Shu's mouth couldn't help but reveal a smile. It is indeed the only immortal cultivation profession in the Shenshu game. By opening up your divine consciousness and reaching S-level mental power, you will definitely gain more spiritual abilities than other professions. Much more powerful. At this moment, Lu Shu's consciousness moved slightly. Through the clone that stayed in Devil Manor, he sensed that Yuming had led other members of the Dark Knight Alliance to a position where his clone could sense it. Lu Shu's current field of vision is more than 500 meters. He can know the location of Netherworld in advance. Are you coming? Lu Shu smiled softly. The next second, he switched his consciousness to the clone in Devil Manor. Pay attention, everyone, we have arrived at Devil Manor. Abyss-level dungeon is not so easy to pass. Expand the defensive lineup, observe the surrounding gray fog, and increase vigilance. If you don't want to die, focus your attention. Yu Ming commanded in a cold voice. A dozen sacred tree masters nearby immediately formed a formation. The team moved very quickly. Everyone's expression was tense. From this point of view, the quality of this team is higher than the previous Dark Knight alliances were a few points higher. Strange, why have we walked for so long without seeing a monster? After walking for a while, a young magician in the team couldn't help but ask with a strange look on his face. The other people in the team also noticed the situation, but they just didn't make a sound. Yu Ming's brows frowned slightly, and he looked warily, watching the surroundings. If something goes wrong, there must be a monster. There are no monsters around. Not only will they not relax at all, but they will become completely vigilant. Gen. At this moment, in the gray fog, there is a faint sound of a piano. Yu Ming frowned slightly, subconsciously feeling that there was something wrong with the sound of the piano. At this moment, silhouettes of dead souls suddenly shot out of the gray mist. Their strength was around a level. The monster is coming. Get ready to fight. Get into battle formation. Yu Ming shouted loudly. The other members of the team did not dare to neglect. All kinds of powers were waved out from their hands. Magic, shadow, violent fist wind, as long as it can be used to kill the enemy's methods were used by the divine tree masters present without any reservation. The dead souls were quickly repelled. Before this group of people could breathe a sigh of relief, in the gray mist, a row of demon soldiers were suddenly killed. Come out. Both the momentum and attributes are higher than before. Why so many monsters? Everyone's expressions changed slightly. Nether instinctively felt that something was wrong with the scene in front of him. However, the current battle prevented him from thinking too much. His mental power had reached a level, although the monster in front of him was a bit weird. from the sudden transformation from dead souls to demon soldiers. This change made Netherworld instinctively feel a little abrupt. But there are not many rules in the Grey World. Is it possible that the monster in front of him can still be an illusion? Even if it is an illusion, with his own mental power, and it is absolutely impossible to be confused. While commanding, the battle began. Soon, the team of the Dark Knight Alliance started fighting with the monster again. Devil's Manor. Lu Shu stood in the distance, playing the Guqin. In his eyes, there are no monsters at all near Yu Ming and others. They are fighting against the air. In fact, except for the dead souls encountered at the beginning, which were the army of dead souls summoned by Lu Shu, the demon soldiers encountered later were all illusions created by Lu. The essence of illusion is to create an environment that is real enough for the opponent to be deeply immersed in it and believe that everything around him is real. Only then can he be manipulated by illusion. My mental power reaches SSS-level, which is already higher than Nether's mental power. Just use illusions and it will be effective. But if Nether's spirit reaches level A, even if it can work directly, if it makes the other party suspicious, the illusion may not have any effect. Therefore, only by using real dead souls to bring the consciousness of Yu Ming and others into a tense fighting state and make them believe that the enemies and monsters around them are real, then they can successfully cast illusions and control their actions. The corners of Lu Shu's lips curled up slightly. Today, he successfully performed the illusion, which allowed him to gain some insights. The sound of the piano at the beginning might make a top master like Yu Ming notice something abnormal. However, the following one, the monster attack of waves of dead souls, will make Yu Ming selectively forget the sound of the piano. Because the dead soul monsters are real monsters, not illusions. At this time, Yu Ming and others must deal with it with all their strength. Wait until they fully enter the fighting state. Lu Shuzhe activated the illusion to create the scene of a monster attack. When the fake is real, it is also fake, and when the real is fake, the fake is also real. The highest level of illusion is to let the opponent fall into the illusion of true and false, and believe that the surrounding people everything is true, and the effect is the best. Just stay here and compete with the air for a while. Lu Shu calmly looked at Yu Ming and others, fighting for air on the spot. The strength of this team is a bit strong. Let's consume their mental power and trump cards first. Moreover, Lu Shu's large force must first go to the Lost Holy Land ruins. At this time, there is no time to deal with Yu Ming and others. Let them lose a wave of energy in the illusion first. Wait until the strength of Yu Ming and others is almost used up, and then kill them. If that time comes, Lu Shu already knows all the abilities of his opponent. But Netherworld, who knows nothing about the surrounding situation and has exhausted all his mental power, will only be killed instantly by Lu Shu with one blow. The ruins of the Lost Holy Land. Coordinates, 63, 55, on the other side of Devil Manor. Lu Shu led a large army to the gate of the Holy Land. Use the key to the Lost Sanctuary? Yes. The next second. Boom. There was a loud bang from the dusty door. A channel opened. Walk forward, there is a magnificent country inside. The ancient buildings are relatively well preserved. It indicates that there was once a huge and prosperous civilization here. However, after walking for a while, a dark space appeared in front of me. Like a torn void, it looks extremely deep. Tip, there is a netherworld ahead, and the risk factor is extremely high. Please proceed with caution. The netherworld realm. Lu Shu frowned slightly and stepped forward. Ahead, the netherworld was a darkness. As long as you enter it, you will be greatly negatively affected. The consequences may be worse than being hit by a meteorite from the Flame City. Much more serious. Is the destruction of this holy land also related to the emergence of nightmare-level copies? Think of Howling Abyss. Lu Shu immediately had some guesses in his mind. Take a few more steps. Really? A prophetic stone wall appears in front of you. The words engraved on it recorded the fate of this holy land and confirmed Lu Shu's guess. The netherworld from the abyss has reached here. They will not be satisfied with just one abyss. Expansion is their instinct. The terrifying existence born in the abyss has been quietly moving. One day in the near future, netherworld will arrive here and create a new abyss. At that time, disaster will spread throughout the world. Humanity places its hope in guardian spirits. Unfortunately, guardian spirits can only protect humans from being devoured by the netherworld, but they cannot defeat the netherworld. Humans are frantically scrambling for the protection of guardian spirits. But the God blessed by the angel will only choose to protect those who have the opportunity to kill netherworld. The guardian spirit is also ruthless. He will not waste human hope on the incompetent, because it will only bring greater despair to mankind. After reading this prophecy, Lu Shu's heart moved slightly, and he guessed. It turns out that netherworld is a monster born from the abyss. But this monster is different from the cursed demon king in Castlevania. It's equivalent to the difference between small monsters and big monsters in the abyss. According to prophecy, the native monsters born in the abyss also have the ability to expand. If it is a monster as powerful as the Lord of the Netherworld, it can even create a new abyss. And these abysses can continue to create monsters and start to spread crazily. My eyes moved to the nether realm near the Holy Land. These swallowed voids turned into a deep void. After the Holy Land was attacked by the netherworld, it has become like this. It is conceivable. If you go to the Wailing Abyss, the realm belonging to the Lord of the Netherworld. Then, such dangerous areas may be everywhere. As long as you step into that copy, you will probably step into the Netherworld realm. If you don't find the corresponding props and methods, then the moment after entering, people may evaporate instantly. At the end of the prophecy, the guardian spirit is mentioned. If you want to enter the Howling Abyss, the protection of the guardian spirit is very important. This provides immunity to the power of the netherworld. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Think of this. He immediately realized that in the Holy Land, there was still the power of the guardian spirit that could be found. Expand the exploration formation. Avoid all nether regions. Pay attention to safety and do not move casually. Lu Shu commanded. All the pets started exploring nearby. This country is quite large. After exploring for a while, a message popped up in front of Lu Shu. Tip, 500 meters ahead, a guardian spirit jade pendant appears. The next second, the little white fox held a pure white jade pendant in its mouth and used void teleportation to arrive in front of Lu Shu. Well done, little guy. Lu Shu smiled and touched the head of the little white fox. He is indeed a little white fox. The ability to move and find treasures is indeed not limited. He moved his eyes to the guardian jade pendant. A prompt suddenly popped up in front of Lu Shu. This jade pendant seems to be sealing something, and 2 other guardian spirit artifacts need to be gathered to fully awaken. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. The thing sealed in the jade pendant must be the guardian spirit of the Holy Land. But to awaken the jade pendant, 2 other things must be found. He wasn't in too much of a hurry, and continued to explore the area. After a while, it was Pikachu who found a piece of jade. Tip, 500 meters ahead, a guardian spirit scepter appears. Pikachu grabbed the scepter, turned into a flash of light, and returned to Lu Shu. There was joy in the little guy's expression. Once you find the scepter, you won't lose to the little white fox now. A panel popped up in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Guardian Spirit Scepter. Category, Holy Weapon, exclusive to the Underworld. Conditions of use, Priest, None, Spiritual Power S attributes, Underworld Resistance add 500, Blessing add 200, Spirit add 1000, Divine Power add 100. Durability 99 plus. Skills, Holy Light Guard, Holy Light Purification, Dawn Judgment, Dispel Darkness. Description: in order to deal with the underworld, angels gave humans the scepter. Unfortunately, controlling it requires huge mental power. When disaster strikes, at that time, no one could use this weapon. Until the last priest fell, the scepter had long been forgotten. Priest. Lu Shu immediately noticed that there are conditions for using this weapon. There is another guardian artifact, maybe. That divine object hides the secret of the priest? At this moment, again two prompts pop up. 500 meters ahead, the guardian stone appears. Use the divine stone to unlock a new profession, priest. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 82. Sure enough, it has something to do with the profession of the priest. Lu Shu's eyes lit up instantly. The guardian spirit stone emitted a bright white light. Then, a prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu. Do you want to unlock a new profession, priest? Yes. The next second, Lu Shu's body was shrouded in a glimmer of holy light. The most obvious change is mental power. If we say that the previous mental power was a purple ocean. So, in this sea of purple, right now, there is an extra ball of light that condenses the hazy aura of holiness. It's like being infused with divine power. It has the effect of purification and blessing. At the same time, a new professional panel appeared in front of Lu Shu. Occupation. Name, Priest. Level, Advanced. Attributes, Spirit add 500, Divine Power add 20, Blessing add 100. Skills. Holy Light Purification, LV1 purify the negative skill effects below a level on the body. Blessing of Holy Light, LV1 obtain the Blessing of Holy Light, gain 100 points of blessing attributes and 20 points of divine bonus that last 10 minutes, and be immune to the negative effects of the abyss such as curses, nether darkness, illusions, etc. Holy Light Barrier, LV1, summon a Holy Light Barrier to resist attacks from abyss monsters below a level. Holy Light Judgment, LV1 summons an A-level Holy Light to cause a large amount of damage to abyss-type enemies. Available skill points, 5. Unexpectedly unlocked the profession of priest. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. In the Sacred Tree game, the priest is a very popular profession. Its holy light and blessing effects have a strong restraint effect on most dungeon monsters. Most A-level the clergymen are comparable to other professions with S-level talents. The clergyman profession obtained by Lu Shu in the Lost Holy Land is equivalent to an additional profession dedicated to restraining copies. Among them, the divine power is to release the holy priests. The main attribute of light. It is also a special attribute that only a few professions have. If Lu Shu meets the Fire Lord again, then he only needs to use the divine power of the priest to judge this kind of demon. No need to use it. Illusion can quickly defeat the opponent. Unfortunately, my cleric career level is still relatively low. Lu Shu frowned slightly. His new profession did not come from the fruit of the sacred tree. It comes from the exploration of the gray world. Although I have obtained a new profession, how do I upgrade in the future? At this time, the guardian spirit jade pendant in Lu Shu's hand suddenly erupted into a burst of light. The next second, a holy, angelic white shadow floated out of the jade pendant. The moment he opened it, he was like an angel waking up in the world. His indifferent eyes showed wisdom and divinity, as if he was alienated from the world. He looked at Lu Shu with his calm eyes. Lu Shu also stared at the other party. If I guessed correctly, I have collected 3 guardian artifacts. Was the guardian spirit summoned by himself? Then, a prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu. Your spiritual power has met the requirements. Do you want to accept the test of the clergy? Yes. The next second, Lu Shu accepted the test of the priest. he suddenly felt the guardian spirit jade pendant emit a burst of light. It seemed that there was a special connection with his own spiritual power. There was a falling feeling in his body. It was as if his soul was traveling towards a certain place. Not long after, when I opened my eyes again, the picture in front of me suddenly came to a group of high towers. Welcome priests to the trials of the endless tower. The difficulty of this test is level A. Trials will be graded based on your completion time. When you are killed by a monster, the challenge is deemed to be over and your consciousness will return to reality. The higher the level of clearance, the less time it takes to kill the same amount of monsters, the higher the score, and the higher the level bonus you get. Number of layers remaining, 10. I see. After passing the test of the Endless Tower, you can upgrade the level of the priest according to your score. This may be a special test copy in the Guardian Spirit Jade Pendant, but after death, the challenge will only fail and there will be no negative effects. Lu Shu nodded and understood the rules. The next second, 2 Netherworld demon soldiers appeared in front of him. Nether Demon Soldier. Category, Nether Tribe. Danger Factor, A+. Perception Range, 300 meters. Power, 610. Speed, 930. Defense, 510. Skills, Nether Body, Physical Immunity, Magic Immunity, Dark Attribute Immunity, Nether Demon Armor, Death Knife Light. Description: monsters with the blood of the Netherworld are naturally integrated with darkness. If humans cannot illuminate the darkness, they cannot defeat the Netherworld. Monsters appear. Lu Shu first tried to use the Holy Sword of War. A sword slashed out. However, the purification of this holy sword was only transmitted from the body of the Netherworld demon soldier. Did not cause any substantial harm to it. The purification of the holy sword is aimed at demons. Netherworld is also a type of demon, but it has dark attributes. Therefore, can only holy light attacks cause a lot of damage to it? Lu Shu showed a thoughtful expression. The Nether Demon Soldier was injured and immediately raised his demon blade angrily and launched a counter-attack. Cast Holy Light Judgment. A holy light fell from the sky and fell on the 2 Netherworld demon soldiers. Suddenly, the bodies of the 2 demon soldiers immediately turned into a mass of black mist. Completely judged and purified by the holy light, the Nether Demon Soldier suffered A and holy light restraint damage and died immediately. A and level. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Holy light seems to be related to spiritual power. Although his holy light judgment is only LV1. However, due to Lu Shu's mental power, he reached the S end level. Plus unlocking the divine power of the clergy. Destroying the A end level Nether Demon Soldier is a matter of skill. Number of layers remaining, 9. Clearance time, 2 seconds. This 2 seconds was achieved only after Lu Shu tried to use the Holy Sword. If you really want to use Holy Light seriously, then this layer doesn't even need to be used for a second. It was confirmed that the Holy Sword of War did not have much effect on the Netherworld. Lu Shu simply chose to use the professional skills of the priest to destroy these monsters. Complete the levels quickly to get higher scores and rewards. On the second floor, 10 identical Nether Demon Soldiers appeared. Lu Shu imposed a blessing of holy light on himself. A holy light judgment went down, a waterfall of holy light fell from the sky. All the demon soldiers on the field were immediately killed. On the second level, there are 10 magic soldiers, and it takes 1 second to clear the level. On the third floor, there are 20 magic soldiers, and it takes 1 second to clear the level. The fourth floor, 50 magic soldiers, 1 second to clear the level. When we reached the fifth floor, 200 magic soldiers appeared on the field. There are too many monsters. A holy light judgment cannot eliminate all enemies in 1 second. Lu Shu opened the skills panel. He has 5 skill points left unused. After trying to use the skills of the priest, Lu Shu had some confidence in which skills should be added. Blessing of Holy Light adds 2 points. Judgment of Light adds 3 points. Other skills will not be added for the time being, now focusing on speed running. After adding the points, very quickly, in front of Lu Shu, a new skill panel appeared. Blessing of Holy Light, LV3. Obtain the Blessing of Holy Light, gain 200 points of blessing attributes and 60 points of divine bonus for 10 minutes, and be immune to curses and ghosts' negative effects of the abyss such as darkness and illusion. Holy Light Judgment, LV4. Summon an S-level Holy Light to cause a large amount of damage to abyss-based enemies. After the skill panel was improved, Lu Shu used a level 3 Holy Light blessing on himself. Suddenly, his divinity gets a ton of extra boosts. The level of the Holy Light has been upgraded from S-level power to S+ level power. Holy Light flashed across the screen. The 200 nearby Nether Demon soldiers were instantly killed. On the 5th floor, there are 200 magic soldiers, and it takes 1 second to clear the level. On the 6th floor, there are 500 magic soldiers, and it takes 1 second to clear the level. On the 7th floor, there are 1,000 magic soldiers, and it takes 1 second to clear the level. When we reached the 8th floor, a monster with an octopus face and hair that danced like a demon snake appeared in front of Lu Shu. Cursed Nether Descendants. Category, Nether Tribe, Demon Tribe. Danger Factor, S. Perception Range, 500 meters. Power, 1310. Speed, 1100. Defense, 1010. Skills, Nether Body, Physical Immunity, Magic Immunity, Dark Attribute Immunity, Netherworld Description of Roar, Abyss Amplification, and Demon Blood. They are the first batch of demons to be thrown into the Netherworld Abyss for experiments. They not only possess the attributes of the Netherworld, but also have the physical quality of the demons. Even the Holy Light is difficult to purify. All thorny monsters. Lu Shu uses Holy Light Judgment. The S-level Holy Light that illuminated almost the entire screen immediately killed all the nearby Netherworld demon soldiers. However, the new monster that appeared, the cursed descendant of the Netherworld, just roared in pain. The Holy Light did a lot of damage to them. However, the blood of demons will not be affected by the Holy Light, and has great vitality. This extremely painful injury, which fell on the children of Netherworld, only aroused their ferocious nature. Roar. The 5 nearby descendants of the Netherworld rushed towards Lu Shu. Demon Clan. Fortunately, I also have weapons to restrain you. Lu Shu used his backhand to sacrifice the Holy Sword of War. Holding the Guardian Spirit Scepter in his left hand, he released the Holy Light Judgment. Holding the Holy Sword of War in his right hand, a sword light as thick as a bucket slashed down. The cursed descendant of the Netherworld suffered double restraint damage from the Demon Clan and the Netherworld Clan, and died on the spot. On the 7th floor, there are 2,000 demon soldiers and 5 descendants of the Netherworld. It takes 5 seconds to clear the level. On the 8th floor, there are 3,000 demon soldiers and 10 descendants of the Netherworld. It takes 5 seconds to clear the level. On the 9th floor, there are 4,000 demon soldiers and 20 descendants of the Netherworld. It takes 5 seconds to clear the level. Finally, come to the final 10th floor. There is no Netherworld demon soldier here. But 1,000 cursed children of the Netherworld appear here. The scene is simply disappointing. However, Lu Shu's expression remained unmoved. 1,000 monsters, is that a lot? As long as the strength is not enough, no matter how many miscellaneous fish there are, they are just cannon fodder. Although the cursed children of the Netherworld have very high attributes, they have restrained skills and equipment, so killing them is not a big problem. The next second, Lu Shu used Holy Light Judgment. The first purifying blow of the holy light cleared away the nether bloodline in these netherworld heirs. As long as they are attacked by the priest's skills once, all monsters will not be able to enter the dark state and will not be immune to subsequent attacks. Then, Lu Shu performed the Nine Heavens Sword technique. The aura of the Golden Core realm is injected into the Holy Sword of War. The sword light, which is specially designed to purify demons, blooms like ripples, surging on all nearby monsters. In just a moment, wherever the sword light touched, the netherworld turned into nothing. Thousands of S-level ghost monsters, in front of Lu Shu, could only face the fate of being killed instantly. On the 10th floor, there are 1,000 descendants of the netherworld, and it takes 20 seconds to clear the level. Congratulations on passing the test of the 10-story Endless Tower. Time used, 43 seconds. Rating, SSS level. Reward, Advanced Priesthood Rightward Arrow Grandmaster Priesthood. When you kill a Nightmare level Nether boss, you will start the next S-level Endless Tower challenge. At the same time, the career panel in front of Lu Shu has been updated again. Occupation. Name, Priest. Level, Grandmaster. Attributes, Spirit add 1500, Divine Power add 100, Blessing add 200. Skills. Holy Light Purification, LV1 Purify the negative skill effects below S level on the body. Blessing of Holy Light, LV3 Obtain the Blessing of Holy Light, gain 200 points of blessing attributes and 60 points of divine bonus that last 10 minutes, and be immune to the negative effects of the abyss such as curses, nether darkness, illusions, etc. Holy Light Barrier, LV1 Summon a Holy Light Barrier to resist attacks from abyss monsters below S level. Holy Light Judgment, LV4 summons an S-level Holy Light to cause a large amount of damage to abyss-type enemies. Angel Blessing, LV1 release an Angel Blessing, allowing all members within a range to gain a 5% increase in all attributes. Holy Light Explosion, LV1 summons a Holy Light of Destruction, causing massive critical damage to enemies within range. Available skill points, 10. There was a sinking feeling in the body again. The next second, when Lu Shu opened his eyes, unknowingly, he had returned to the ruins of the lost Holy Land again. In front of you. The guardian spirit just looked at him quietly. However, Lu Shu clearly felt a hint of surprise from his unwavering eyes. It's like they don't understand why this person came out so soon after he had just undergone the test. However, the next second, when the guardian spirit sensed Lu Shu's cleric level and was raised to the master level, does this mean that the other party had already cleared the 10th floor of the Endless Tower in only 43 seconds? The emotionless guardian spirit looked at Lu Shu as if he were looking at a monster. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 83. The guardian spirit was silent for a moment and said, "You have successfully passed the test of the priest and meet the requirements of guardianship." The words just finished. The next second, the guardian spirit instantly merged into Lu Shu's body. A ray of angelic light burst out with brilliant light. Lu Shu's body was suddenly enveloped in the holy light blessed by the angel. At the same time, he discovered that there was an extra buff status bar on his body. Angel Guardian. Category, Special Buff. Function, it has a strong resistance effect against the netherworld. It can transform into a guardian angel during battle, causing a lot of damage to the netherworld. Under the protection of the guardian spirit, Lu Shu now has extremely high ghost resistance. The trouble with monsters of the netherworld is that they are difficult to kill without specific means. Moreover, entering the Wailing Abyss will also face threats from the netherworld. So now, none of these things will have any impact on Lu Shu. Try to enter the netherworld realm. Lu Shu looked at the dark field. Anyway, he is just a clone now. Let's first see how strong his nether resistance is. In this way, when he actually gets to the dungeon, it is easier to judge the battle status. Lu Shu carved a teleportation array on the spot to avoid sending multiple clones at any time when something unexpected happens. Then, he tried to enter the netherworld realm. When Lu Shu stepped into it in one step, at that moment, the surrounding vision suddenly shrank towards Lu Shu. It was as if the whole world had turned dark. At this moment, the guardian angel on Lu Shu suddenly burst out with a burst of bright light. The next second, the guardian holy light dispelled the darkness of the netherworld. The oppression of the netherworld realm also disappeared at this moment. With the protection of a guardian spirit. Now, it will be much safer for me to enter the netherworld. These pet armies can also enter with me. As long as the angel's blessing is turned on, you will be immune to the underworld and gain a group benefit. Lu Shu's eyes looked at the new skills acquired by the priest after he upgraded to the master level angel blessing. This skill can be superimposed with the protection effect of the guardian spirit, so that all pets can gain the increase of this effect. Moreover, the attributes of all members can also receive a percentage increase. This is a very useful skill for Lu Shu. Angel Blessing option adds 5 points. For the remaining 5 points, stay and observe the situation. Waiting until necessary to add more, is equivalent to keeping some trump cards that can be used. Adding points is complete. Open the career panel and view the skill. Angel Blessing, LV6 release an Angel Blessing, allowing all members within a range to gain a 20% increase in all attributes. Not only has the increase in all attributes been greatly improved, the range of release has also been expanded to a certain extent. Even if the pets leave the range, as long as they are blessed by the angel, they can obtain the buff for a certain period of time. The effect in actual combat is quite good. At this time, 2 reminders suddenly popped up in Lu Shu's ears. Ding! You got Shadow Fruit X1. Ding! You got the Necromancer Fruit X1. During this period of exploration, Lu Shu harvested 2 professional fruits from the Shadow Divine Tree and the Necromancer Divine Tree. Think about it. Lu Shu did not choose to take these fruits immediately. Up to now, just eating a fruit has very limited effect on improving the master level. It usually takes 1 or 2 to advance to the first level. The improvement effect is also relatively average. Lu Shu planned to collect 10 fruits first, and then use synthesis to turn them into more advanced professional fruits. Maybe if you eat it like this, you will be surprised. Open panel. Remaining time for the invasion of the Grey World, 5 days. After this period of exploration, the time for the invasion of the Grey World is getting closer and closer. Lu Shu placed his gaze on the location of the copy Wailing Abyss with coordinates, 67, 58. Let's take a look at this copy first. Although there is not much time left, there are still a lot of things that can be done in 5 days. Lu Shu plans to go to the Wailing Abyss and use the power of Monster Prophet to see how this nightmare level copy is doing. Oh, almost forgot. Near the Demon Manor, there is also a group of Dark Knight Alliance members who are fighting against the air. You can consider letting them enter the Nightmare Dungeon to explore the dungeon for yourself. By the way, add more high-level dead souls to your army of dead souls. As well as the sacred tree on the body of the sacred tree master Netherworld, Lu Shu has been interested in this for a long time. Team of the Dark Knight Alliance. After a period of fighting, this group of sacred tree masters seemed to have become accustomed to the attack methods of these monsters. A red-haired man held a blood-stained magic knife in his hand. The blade was condensed with scarlet blood. A bloody sword light emerged. The magic soldier in front of him was instantly killed. It doesn't seem to be too difficult, an abyss-level copy, that's it, the red-haired man smiled wildly. Yu Ming's brows furrowed. Have you seen the dungeon boss? The others hesitated for a moment and were stunned. It seems not. Yes. You have killed so many monsters in this place, why don't you even see a boss? Keep going. Yu Ming was silent for a moment and said. Before he could react, he had already fallen under the illusion. However, although the previous battle was a bit weird, it was not very different from the information in this copy. Everyone walked forward, strangely. After walking for a while, I didn't encounter any monsters along the way. Could it be that we deviated from the direction of the copy and walked out? In the team, a woman wearing a black leather coat with a face full of lines asked aloud. Others immediately felt that this was a possibility. The scope of the abyss-level dungeon is very large. In addition, they don't have Lushu. With such a search range, it is normal to get lost sometimes. Go back the way you came. Yu Ming said. Everyone continued walking for a while. But something even stranger happened. When they returned to the original path, they didn't even meet a single demon soldier. Where are we now? A young man's voice was slightly trembling. If you get lost in the gray world, it would not be a good thing. There are only 5 days before the gray world invades. They still have to find a way to return to their sacred tree island. Okay. At this moment, a member's exclamation suddenly came from near Netherworld. Why can't I see anything? Everyone turned around, only to see that teammate suddenly scream. However, a dark shadow suddenly enveloped that person. The scream stopped suddenly. In such a blink of an eye, a person beside him, the person just disappeared. What on earth is going on? Damn it! Yu Ming suddenly cursed angrily. Then, a wave of mental power was released from his body. There was a bang. The picture in front of him suddenly collapsed. At this time, everyone in the team saw their current position, entering an abyss. And the surroundings are surrounded by the Nether Realm. The member just stepped into the Nether Realm, and then was mercilessly devoured. When did we get here? The red-haired man was completely dumbfounded. This change happened so suddenly. It was like a dream. No one could react. We were tricked by other sacred tree masters. Yu Ming took a deep breath and said with a gloomy expression. What happened? Everyone looked at Yu Ming. Yu Ming said coldly, we didn't kill any monsters just now. Everything was an illusion. You can open the warehouse and take a look. The other sacred tree masters heard this and immediately opened the warehouse. As a result, they found that all the rewards they received from raiding the dungeon had disappeared at this moment. The items in the warehouse were no different from before they raided them. This means that the rewards they got from raiding the dungeon just now disappeared. The items are all fake. And the enemy who can do all this must be a sacred tree master. If I guessed correctly, our position has now been trapped by the enemy in the howling abyss. Yu Ming gritted his teeth and said. How so? When other people heard the news, their faces turned pale. Howling abyss, when they were exploring nearby, they also got a map of the area. Nightmare copy. This is a dungeon that is 100 times scarier than the abyss-level dungeon. At the current stage, there is no divine tree master who dares to say that he can pass here. Could it be someone from Wu Pavilion? Yu Ming's expression immediately became ugly. He remembered that there was a sacred tree master named Lu Feng in Wu Pavilion, who was very good at illusion. And the battle between Wu Pavilion and the Dark Knight Alliance, during this period it never stopped. The situation between the two sides was very tense. Yu Ming originally thought that Lu Feng was just a third-rate character, and even if he was on the rankings, it would be insignificant. He immediately sent a message to Anyet. Yu Ming leader, we were trapped by Lu Feng's illusion and fell into the wailing abyss. We are probably in a very dangerous situation now. And yeah, what's the situation over there? Before Yu Ming could recover, a teammate suddenly shouted from beside him. Careful! Everyone turned their heads and looked, in their field of vision. Several Nether Demon soldiers rushed out from the Nether Realm and came towards everyone in the Dark Knight Alliance. Netherworld's face changed. He had no time to reply to Dark Knight's message. It was necessary. We must first get through the situation in front of us. The red-haired man held a bloody blade and slashed at the Nether demon soldier. A strange thing happened. This knife actually passed through the Nether demon soldier's body. It did not cause any harm to it. You all stand back. These monsters are not something you can deal with. They have dark power. Netherworld's abilities are also very close to the monsters in this copy. He also released the power of dark attributes. A black barrier appeared in front of him, blocking the attacks of these demon soldiers. Walk. Get out of here. Netherworld shouted. At this moment, in the grey fog, endless Nether demon soldiers came out of the abyss, instantly disrupting the formation of this team. Ah! Several screams came from the surroundings. There were too many demon soldiers, and Netherworld's ability could not respond at all. Among the Divine Tree Masters present, except for Netherworld, no one could deal with these Netherworld monsters. One after another, they died in the hands of the Nether demon soldiers. Some of the Divine Tree Masters were completely in chaos at this time. They desperately began to escape outside. Who knows, the next second, a Nether realm suddenly enveloped them, the other party. The red-haired man panicked and didn't even look at the road. He ran into the Netherworld and was swallowed up instantly. He didn't even have time to make a sound, and he died just like that. These idiots. Yu Ming couldn't help but cursed. Don't you know how to lean on your side? Now, if you want to keep these teammates, there is no chance. They are almost dead. Although Yu Ming also has dark attributes, the demon soldiers can't kill him for the time being, but the monster attributes of the nightmare level copy are too high. So many monsters have emerged, and Netherworld's current level and strength are completely unable to withstand it. I have to retreat crazily. Right here at that time, a demon wearing a magic robe looked at Netherworld with cold eyes. Netherworld instantly felt the breath of death. Following the demon mage, he gently released the grey mist staff. The next second. Bang! Netherworld's body exploded like this. But Netherworld is obviously not that easy to die. He gritted his teeth and fled towards the outside of the copy. Strictly speaking, Netherworld's body is somewhat similar to the Fire Lord. It can be transformed into attributes and elements. On the physical level, it is difficult to kill. The attributes of the monsters here are also dark attribute attacks. Although attacks with the same attributes can work, the effect will be relatively limited. Run away. This is the only thought left in Yu Ming's mind. If you escape from this dungeon, there may be a chance of survival. Looking back, all the teammates behind him are basically dead. Yu Ming can only be alone. Accept the humiliating defeat, and fight desperately for a chance of survival. On the way, he doesn't know how many demon soldiers have been killed with blades, and he doesn't know how many mages have blasted his body with magic. With his A-level spirit power, Nether endured the pain again and again, and put his body back together again and again from the state of darkness and division. Finally, he escaped from the scope of the wailing abyss. At this moment, Nether Ninja, he couldn't help but take a long breath and laughed. He survived. Anyway, he survived. When he raised his head, he suddenly found, there was someone suddenly in front of him. When he raised his head, what caught his eye was a pair of purple eyes. The next second, Yu Ming found that he had lost consciousness. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 84. It's you. The moment he saw Lu Shu, Yu Ming seemed to have reacted. Some time ago, Lushuran once displayed Rakshas's equipment on the trading interface, and because Lu Feng had a bet with Rakshasa, he has always been obsessed with Rakshas's equipment. He must have spent a sacred tree fruit to transfer this. I exchanged a set of platinum equipment for it. The Tree Master's killing of Raxhasa meant that he must have had a grudge with the Divine Tree Master of the Dark Knight Alliance, and there is no Divine Tree Master who can crush himself mentally and look at the entire Divine Tree game with more than one hand. Die. Lu Shu said lightly. The next second, looking at Lu Shu's pupils, Yu Ming suddenly felt a majestic spiritual power like an ocean, completely suppressing him. How can it be? Yu Ming was shocked. He never thought that he would be so far behind other Divine Tree Masters in terms of spiritual power. He activated the purple Chi power. Lu Shu's eyes directly swallowed up Yu Ming's mind. When that terrifying spiritual torrent swept towards Netherworld, he wanted to put up more resistance. But Netherworld could only feel that his consciousness was gradually dissipating. No matter what he did, he was struggling, unable to resist his own consciousness, and was becoming more and more comatose. If he was in the peak state of Netherworld, he might still be able to escape from death by relying on the powers of the Netherworld system. However, after passing through the Wailing Abyss, various people an attack from a monster. At this moment, Yu Ming's mental power was running low. Lu Shu used SSS-level mental power to launch an attack on it. The result was predictable. Yu Ming had no ability to resist and was completely devoured by Lu Shu. Lost his consciousness. Finally, a prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu's eyes. You have killed the Tree Master Netherworld. Obtain the Netherworld Sacred Tree. Divine Tree Add 1. Now. The Dark Knight's eyes are cloudy and uncertain. He waited for a while, but found that Yu Ming still didn't reply to the message. Finally, Anya couldn't bear it any longer. He sent a message: how is your current situation? However, the prompt that popped up in front of Dark Knight the next second was the familiar death prompt box. The Sacred Tree Master Netherworld is dead. At this moment, Anya's expression finally became unbearable. Mwu Pavilion. A burst of murderous intent burst out from Dark Knight's eyes. Before he died, Yu Ming said that he was under an illusion, and now he was trapped into the nightmare-level Wailing Abyss. In this aspect of the entire Sacred Tree game, it is the only one with the only person with extremely high attainments who can pose a threat to Yu Ming seems to be Lu Feng of Mwu Pavilion. But, what makes Anya a little puzzled is why Lu Feng can threaten Yu Ming. According to the latest information, Lu Feng's current the mental power should be B and level at most. It is impossible to threaten Netherworld with A-level mental power. There is even intelligence that Netherworld has a restraining effect on Lu Feng. But if this is the case, how can Lu Feng who tricked Yu Ming into the Wailing Abyss? Anya's eyes narrowed. Although there is something fishy about this matter, but we definitely can't just let it go. Yu Ming is a top general of the Dark Knight Alliance. If he dies, it will have an impact on the entire Dark Knight Alliance. The Dark Knight Alliance's vitality cannot be described as being severely damaged. It can be said that Anya broke an arm directly. Take a deep breath. Anya said to the subordinates in the guild, send the order, let people increase the number of people in Mwu Pavilion members' reward. Especially increasing Lu Feng's bounty and adding a piece of extraordinary equipment. By the way, Yu Ming is dead, and his position needs a capable person to take his place. Mwu Pavilion. Netherworld is dead. The Dark Knight Alliance has suddenly increased the bounty on all our members. Especially Lu Feng's bounty has now been added to an extraordinary weapon. Mwu Tingfeng opened her eyes slightly. In fact, in the Dark Knight Alliance, there are Divine Tree Masters sent by Mwu Pavilion to lurk. Likewise, Mwu Pavilion also has people from the Dark Knight Alliance. This is something that both sides have declared inappropriate. Dark Knight, the sudden increase in the bounty on Mwu Pavilion is equivalent to completely breaking the relationship. Open the chat box. Mwu Tingfeng Lu Feng, what have you done recently? Lu Feng, I'm just going to stay on the Sacred Tree Island. The Grey Realm has almost invaded recently. Should I still go out? Mu Yu Ting Fen, then why was your reward raised to an extraordinary weapon by the Dark Knight Alliance? Lu Feng. Seeing Lu Feng's reaction, Mu Yu Ting Fen was a little sure that this matter had nothing to do with him. However, using the deduction method, Mu Yu Ting Feng frowned slightly. Lu Feng and Yu Ming's death have nothing to do with each other, but they do have something to do with it. What is the cause and effect sandwiched between the two? After deducing for a while, I still couldn't find the answer. Mu Yu Ting Feng, anyway, you have been careful lately. Although Yu Ming is dead, the Dark Knight Alliance has recently expanded its membership and bought many sacred tree masters at high prices. Lu Feng, damn it, Yu Ming is actually dead? Who did this? A good thing. Mu Yu Ting Feng said, I don't know, but you'd better be careful lately and don't go out randomly, otherwise you may be troubled by people from the Dark Knight Alliance. Hang up the communication. Now. Lu Feng's face was filled with confusion. What does this mean? Could it be that Yu Ming's death had anything to do with him? Forget it, I can't think of an answer. Lu Feng simply laughed loudly. That guy from Netherworld is dead, which can only be a good thing for Lu Feng. With one less natural enemy, won't there be one less nemesis in the Divine Tree game from now on? What are you afraid of? Just go out and hang out? I don't know who killed Yu Ming. I must thank him forever. Lu Feng said with a smile. First a Rakshasa died, and then a Netherworld. In the past few days, good news has been coming continuously. People are in high spirits when happy events happen. Lu Feng was very lucky today, and he grabbed the Lu, a piece of Shuren's delicacy. He ate it happily. Lu Feng suddenly felt like he was going to heaven. Sacred Tree Island. Lu Shu's body opened its eyes. At this time, below the sacred tree, there is a golden teleportation array. It is the teleportation array heading to the Netherworld Divine Tree Island. A teleportation light curtain landed on Lu Shu's head. The next second, in front of Lu Shu's eyes, a new island appeared. The sacred tree in the center seems to be in a dark netherworld. Is this the Netherworld sacred tree? Lu Shu took a deep breath. Communicating spiritual power. SN super spiritual power crushed it, and the residual thoughts left by the Netherworld divine tree were immediately erased. This moment, the Netherworld sacred tree is connected to the Lu tree. Got a new sacred tree. The next second, in front of him, a new sacred tree panel unfolded. Divine Tree, Netherworld. Stage, Advanced Spiritual Tree. Sunlight, 240/day, 2.4x100. Aura, 230/day, 2.3x100. Product, Netherworld Fruit. Production cycle, 9 days, 2600/300. Growth points, 20,200, 14.7x100, equal 1470/day. Next stage, Holy Tree, 100000, growth points. Has it been upgraded to a high-level spiritual tree? Lu Shu was a little surprised. And looking at this growth value, it is estimated that it was the high-level spiritual tree that grew into the day he just killed him. It should have been a happy thing, but the person died like this. It was also unlucky. This level is not bad. Lu Shu showed a smile. The level of high-level spiritual trees is no lower than his own. He remembered that Netherworld also has a time-based talent. If there is enough time to accelerate, the upgrade speed may not be as high as it is much slower than the 100-fold increase. Unfortunately, I can't get the opponent's time talent. Focus on the Nether God tree. The good news is that the Nether God tree has two kinds of fruit talents. Nether fruit, spiritual fruit. This is equivalent to 2 more talents. Moreover, after the Netherworld sacred tree reaches the level of a high-level spiritual tree, the fruits it produces will be of a higher grade. In this way, Lu Shu's progress in the nether system will also grow rapidly in the future. Take out top fertilizer and blessed holy water. Apply them all. The production speed of the nether god tree has also been greatly improved. Product, nether fruit. Production cycle, 4 days, 2600/650. Growth points, 21,500, 16.0 x 100 equals 1600/day. Open the panel, remaining time for Grey Realm invasion, 4 days. You can still wait until a mature time. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. Unknowingly, the next invasion of the Grey World is coming soon. During this period, the higher the sprint, the better the strength. 4 days are enough for Lu Shu to wait until the nether fruit matures. Once. At that time, I will be able to have one more power. Ding. Your primary golden elixir fruit tree has reached the production cycle, golden elixir fruit add 100. Are you mature? Lu Shu's eyes lit up slightly. After such a day of exploration, the remaining 2 production cycles of the golden elixir fruit tree have reached the upper limit. 200 golden elixir fruits are hanging on the tree. The tree has made rapid progress in the past few days, coupled with the crane's cultivation to the 8th level of acquired life, the Bodhi tree's enlightenment point has also reached 8,000. At this current pace, when the crane invaded the Grey World, he could already cultivate to the innate realm. My cultivation level also needs to be improved quickly. Thinking of this, Lu Shu picked 100 fruits from the golden elixir fruit tree. Whether to synthesize primary golden elixir fruit x100 into intermediate golden elixir fruit x10. Yes. The next second. In front of Lu Shu, 10 more intermediate golden elixir fruits appeared again. Swallowed 10 intermediate golden elixir fruits. After half a day of practice. Boom. There was a loud breakthrough sound from Lu Shu's body. The golden elixir is at the 4th level. And the last 100 primary spiritual energy fruits. Whether to synthesize primary golden elixir fruit x100 into intermediate golden elixir fruit x10. Yes. Whether to synthesize the intermediate golden elixir fruit x10 into the high-level golden elixir fruit x1. Yes. A white light curtain flashed by. The 10 intermediate golden elixir fruits in front of me turned into one high-level golden elixir fruit. At the 4th level of the golden elixir, the effect of the intermediate golden elixir fruit is already very low. If you want to break through quickly, you must swallow the high-level golden elixir fruit. Lu Shu chose to break through his cultivation level as quickly as possible. Soon, the high-grade golden elixir fruit is consumed in the stomach. Lu Shu breaks through again. Golden elixir level 5. At this stage, the speed of cultivation has become slower and slower. From the golden elixir to the yuanying, it is not as simple as the accumulation of spiritual energy. Condensing the nascent soul requires some special methods. Lu Shu's progress temporarily slowed down. At this moment, 3 reminders came to his ears in succession. Ding. You got the life fruit x1. Ding. You have obtained advanced growth fruits x3. Ding. You have obtained the intermediate golden elixir fruit x1. Finally come. Lu Shu's eyes lit up slightly. He looked at the sacred tree. The life fruit exudes the breath of life. And this time, there are 3 advanced growth fruits attached. The number of times the golden elixir fruit tree has been produced has also reached the upper limit. This wave just filled the gap of golden elixir fruits. Lu Shu immediately buried these fruits in the ground. Soon, 5 subspecies spiritual trees rose from the ground. Life fruit tree. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, life fruit. Cycle, 0.5 days, 365/650. Production times remaining, 1. Advanced growth fruit tree x3. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, life fruit. Cycle, 0.5 days, 365/650. Production times remaining, 3. Middle golden elixir fruit tree. Variety, subspecies spirit tree. Product, life fruit. Cycle, 0.5 days, 365/650. Production times remaining, 1. After half a day. Finally, all 3 fruit trees have reached their first production cycle. Lushu first placed 100 life fruits under the sacred tree to nurture them. As for the golden elixir fruit tree, I have just broken through 2 realms in a row, so I won't take it for now. Lushu set his sights on advanced growth fruits. At this time, the golden dragon koi swam back from the beach and was calling Lushu. This guy seems to have gained something again. Lushu's spiritual consciousness sensed the call of the golden dragon koi, and he went there with the advanced growth fruit. By the way, he fed a wave of golden dragon koi to improve the luck attribute again. He came to the coast. The golden dragon koi saw Lushu's figure, appearing in front of me. He immediately vomited something towards the coast. I thought it was another school of fish in the deep sea. Unexpectedly, what he vomited out this time was actually a treasure box. You got a silver level deep sea treasure chest X1. Do you want to enable it? Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 85. Is there a treasure chest under the sea? Lushu felt a little surprised. Select yes. A prompt popped up in front of him. You opened a silver level deep sea treasure chest and obtained water rune X1. Water rune. Type, deep sea rune. Level, elementary. Function, control the sea water within 1000 meters of the deep sea, use elementary water magic to attack opponents. Deep sea. Lushu keenly captured a word. He has not yet entered the sea outside the island to explore. He originally thought that, the sea outside may be just a space that isolates the sacred tree master. Unexpectedly, there are still people in the deep sea. Treasure chest. The power of the water rune can control the sea water within 1000 meters of the deep sea. This shows that the depth of the sea water has a different meaning. Could it be said that the deeper the sea water is, the more treasures can be obtained? Lushu suddenly realized this. If there is a chance, he can go to the deep sea to explore in person. However, at present, Lushu still focuses on improving his cultivation level. The water runes opened by the deep sea treasure chest, his combat ability in the grey world is not very high, and he prefers to continue exploring the deep sea. It's okay to let the golden dragon koi explore the way first. Lushu took out the advanced growth fruit and fed it to the golden dragon koi. The golden dragon koi swallowed an advanced growth fruit and gained add 100 evolution points. The golden dragon koi swallowed an advanced growth fruit and gained add 100 evolution points. It is indeed an advanced growth fruit. Just one can increase 100 evolution points. The golden dragon koi can be evolved to the 5th level. Lushu's eyes lit up slightly. The effect of advanced growth fruits was beyond his expectation. It takes 20,000 evolution points for the golden dragon koi to evolve from the 4th level to the 5th level. But this time, Lushu got 3 after the advanced growth fruit tree reached its first production cycle. It suddenly received 300 advanced growth fruits. Give the golden dragon and koi 200 pills to swallow. I will have 700 advanced growth fruits left until all the production times are completed later. It's enough for those little guys to swallow. Lushu calculated the number of advanced growth fruits. Then, he kept feeding the golden dragon koi. The golden dragon koi basically swallowed all the fruits in one bite. The next second, its body became bigger than before. It's as big as a shark. It's even covered with golden scales, reflecting the dazzling golden light. It looks very majestic, just like the scales of a real dragon. Open the pet panel. Golden dragon koi. Category, mythical creature. Level, Level 5. Blessing Aura, Lucky add 150. Evolution Points, 500. Evolution Points required to upgrade to level 6, 100,000. Do you already need 100,000 evolution points to continue upgrading? Lushu couldn't help but smile bitterly. I really can't afford to raise him in the future. Let's train the crane later. Return to the sacred tree island. Lushu fed the 50 advanced growth fruits from behind to the enlightened crane. After the crane ate the fruit, its understanding also improved. Enlightenment crane. Category, mythical creature. Level, 4th level. Cultivation level, 9th level. Acquired blessing aura, comprehension add 100. Evolution points, 400. Evolution points required to upgrade to level 4, 20,000. Boom. The moment the crane evolved, it also broke through from the acquired 8th level to the acquired 9th level. I guess it won't be a problem if I practice for another day or two and break through the innate stage. When the fruits of growth mature later, let the little guys from the Grey World come back. Lushu thought. Grey Realm. Location, Howling Abyss. Coordinates, 67, 58. Danger coefficient, SS. Lushu stood outside the abyss. His eyes suddenly burst into a burst of white light. Next second, the monsters in the dungeon of Howling Abyss appeared in Lushu's field of vision. Through the power of Monster Prophet, Lushu has basically determined the situation in the copy. This copy is divided into 3 layers. Outermost layer, the monsters are usually the Nether Demon Soldiers and the Nether Mage Camp. Middle level, there are S and level Lord monsters that are no less than the Fire Lord or even stronger. They are quite powerful and number around 10. The deepest part, Boss Lord of the Netherworld. The Lord of the Netherworld has the energy to instantly call out other accomplices, and its body is connected to the entire abyss. If other monsters are not killed, the Lord of the Netherworld cannot even be killed. Lushu frowned slightly. Killing the Lord of the Netherworld is not that simple. It is impossible to go directly and kill the Lord of the Netherworld in an instant. You can only start from the outermost periphery and work your way inside layer by layer. Otherwise, if you attack the Lord of the Netherworld directly, all nearby monsters will be summoned, making the situation you will face even more dangerous. There are still 3 or 4 days left. Check the remaining days for the invasion of the Grey World. Lushu planned to use 2 or 3 days to kill all the outermost layers of this copy. After that, he would send out an army of dead souls to explore the inner layer. The monsters are all brought to the sacred tree island and killed. When the invasion of the Grey World is over, in this copy, only the Lord of the Netherworld will be left with an empty nest monster. The pressure to deal with it will be much easier. Stay nearby the next teleportation array. Lushu's figure moved. Soon, he led the large troops around him and entered the Howling Abyss. Enter the Howling Abyss. Lushu's vision was suddenly partially compressed. He held up the search fire in his hand. Now, the divine fire was suddenly aroused. The surrounding darkness suddenly stopped when it was halfway swallowing Lushu. Field of view, 300 meters. Lushu is quite satisfied with this. If he were an ordinary divine tree master, he would be swallowed up by the darkness instantly when he came here. It is very likely that the field of vision would be compressed to less than 10 meters at most. If he entered the Netherworld, he may even die completely. The nightmare level copy is like a terrible nightmare. There are fatal crises everywhere. Use angel blessing. Lushu's body immediately erupts with a holy light curtain. The pets around him are all shrouded. With Lushu's protection, these pets have gained resistance to the Netherworld. In addition, the dead souls are also immune to the Netherworld. This attack is aimed at the living and engulfs human consciousness in an instant. Summoning an army of dead souls. Lushu asked these dead souls to take the initiative to attack nearby monsters. Suddenly, a large group of ghost demon soldiers and cursed ghost descendants were angered. After stimulating hatred, they rushed towards Lu Shu's direction. "Welcome." Lu Shu smiled slightly. The purpose of doing this was to make all the monsters come closer. Wait until enough monsters gathered around, the next second. Raise the Guardian Scepter. Holy Light Judgment. A beam of light, a waterfall of holy light fell from the sky. The surrounding ghost monsters were immediately hit by the holy light. They dropped a lot of equipment and materials one after another. You killed the Netherworld Demon Soldier and received Special Fertilizer X1. You killed the Netherworld Demon Soldier and obtained Netherworld Armor, Diamond Level, X1. You killed the Cursed Netherborn and got X1 Special Fertilizer. You killed the Cursed Scion of the Netherworld and obtained the Netherworld Boots, Diamond Level, X1. In front of me, a lot of Netherworld equipment dropped. Besides, Special Fertilizer can even be found here. A blast of luck. Lu Shu collected the Nether suit into a 4-piece set in a very short period of time. Open the equipment panel. Set effect. Nether 8-piece set, 4/8. Set effect, Nether resistance add 100, Nether restraint add 50, Nether perception add 20, Nether gain add 50, Nether critical hit rate add 10%, blessing add 20, divine power add 10. The equipment in the Nether set is basically diamond level or above. If these equipments are thrown into the 5-color altar, it will give you a chance to light up a luck critical strike again, and it can even overflow a lot. The effect of the suit, even the divine power, is more powerful than I imagined. Put on the Nether suit. Although it's only a 4-piece suit. But in this copy, some attributes of the Nether suit are even more important. Lu Shu constantly uses dead souls to pull over the surrounding Nether monsters. His holy light, the level is high enough. Only one holy light judgment is needed. All monsters nearby who were illuminated by the holy light were judged, and no one could stay. Equipment and more advanced materials are constantly popping up in front of Lu Shu's eyes. By the way, go find the souls of those guys. Lu Shu's heart moved, and he walked towards the deeper part of the Wailing Abyss. Not long ago, more than a dozen sacred tree masters around Yuming were trapped and killed in this area. They had not been dead for more than a day. Refining as a dead soul, there should be no problem. When Netherworld dies, the soul breath becomes a medium connecting Lu Shu and its sacred tree, so it cannot be refined into a dead soul. You can only choose one of the sacred tree and the dead soul refining. Since he wants the Netherworld's sacred tree, the other people's sacred trees are one level lower and do not have suitable fruit talents. Lu Shu chose to be more straightforward and refine them into members of his army of dead souls. In this way, this team of the Dark Knight Alliance did not disappear completely in the Shenshu game. It just changed away and continued the game. When they came to the area where these people died, Lu Shu used undead magic. Ah! A painful wailing sound came. The sacred tree master of the Netherworld team had his soul extracted by Lu Shu, and he felt extremely painful. They wanted to put up more resistance. However, Lu Shu snorted coldly. His mental strength was more than the other sacred tree masters were too much higher. It was impossible to give their opponents any chance. Directly activate their mental power to obliterate. Soon, 10 more A and level souls and 3 S were added to the army of dead souls. Level dead soul. The combat power has increased a lot. At this moment, a dark magic suddenly landed on Lu Shu. The next second, the guardian spirit immediately released the guardian blessing. Angel blessings appeared around Lu Shu. The dazzling brilliance withstood the effects of dark magic. The angel's figure appeared from the jade pendant, with a holy light curtain, breaking through the darkness and lighting up everything around him. The Nether magician has unleashed a dark magic on you. Guardian spirits protect against dark magic. 2 prompts popped up in succession. Lu Shu looked in the direction of the attack. Insight. A magician wearing a dark robe was looking at Lu Shu with cold eyes. A monster panel pops up in front of you. Nether Mage. Category, Demon, Nether Tribe, Magician. Danger Coefficient, S+. Perception Range, 400 meters. Power, 1200. Speed, 1150. Defense, 920. Skills, Dark Magic, Death Curse, Dark Sacrifice, Nether Devouring. Description: in the Abyss, they have powerful magic power and unique talents as magicians, and are loved by the Lord of the Netherworld. Holy Light Blessing. Holy Light Barrier. Holy Light Explodes. Lu Shu waved the Guardian Spirit Scepter and released 3 skills in a row. Under the blessing of the Holy Light, his divine power was greatly improved. The Holy Light Barrier first protects oneself from the dark magic attacks of the Nether Mage. And then, use the Holy Light Explosion. Detonate your opponent directly. A bright holy light suddenly exploded where the Nether Magician was, killing him instantly. You killed the Netherworld Magician and obtained the Netherworld Necklace, extraordinary level. This luck. Shu couldn't help but clicked his tongue. A piece of extraordinary equipment was revealed directly. Isn't this very lucky? Even if the opponent is an S-level monster, it is just a mob after all. How can extraordinary level equipment be revealed so easily? Open the equipment panel. Demon Necklace. Type, Necklace. Grade, Extraordinary. Attributes, Magic add 500, Spirit add 500, Spell Penetration add 200. Set Effect. Nether 8-piece set, 5/8. Set Effect, Nether Resistance add 150, Nether Restraint add 100, Nether Perception add 50, Nether Gain add 70, Nether Critical Hit Rate add 20%, Blessing add 50, Divine Power and the 20. Nether set has received a bonus again. Lu Shu began to perform the fireball technique. The searchlight source in his hand suddenly burst out into a burst of bright fire, illuminating the surrounding area of 500 meters. The fireball technique combined with the divine source of fire also has this expelling effect on the Netherworld. After the field of vision was expanded, Lu Shu used the Marauder's map to obtain more location information about the Nether Magician. These troublesome guys must be dealt with quickly. Lu Shu's eyes turned slightly cold. Raise the Guardian Spirit Scepter. He aimed at the location of the Nether Magician and continuously released explosions of holy light. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 86. Boom boom boom. Holy light explosions continue to explode on the Nether Mage's body. Angel blessing with the blessing of the holy light and several layers of blessings from the Guardian Spirit. Lu Shu's damage bonus to Nether monsters has simply reached an extremely exaggerated level. As the holy light exploded on the Nether Mage's body one after another, the most threatening monsters nearby have been killed. After completely sweeping the perimeter, Lu Shu got a new Nether suit. Devil Pendant. Type, Pendant. Grade, Extraordinary. Attributes, Magic add 400, Spirit add 600, Blessing add 100. Set Effect. Nether 8-piece set, 6/8. Set Effect, Nether Resistance add 250, Nether Restraint add 150, Nether Perception add 100, Nether Gain add 100, Nether Critical Hit Rate add 30%, Blessing add 100, Divine Power add 50. The Netherworld's resistance has been greatly increased. Now even without the protection of the Guardian Spirit, Lu Shu will not have much impact when attacked by these monsters. The improvement of damage amplification attributes such as Nether Restraint makes Lu Shu's damage to these monsters even more explosive. After the divine power is improved, the professional skills of the priests have also been strengthened. Walking in the nightmare-level wailing abyss. Lu Shu actually felt like a fish in water. When Netherworld's team came to the wailing abyss, it was equivalent to entering the most desperate abyss. If they could only try their best to survive. Then, when Lu Shu came to the wailing abyss, it felt like he was walking around in his own house. Like the back garden. I strolled leisurely and walked forward leisurely. When I encountered a monster, I used a holy light explosion to clean it up and get a lot of equipment. If other sacred tree masters saw this scene, I'm afraid you have to kneel down completely. After sweeping the perimeter, the equipment Lu Shu obtained was enough to light up 2 luck critical strikes. I don't know how much top quality fertilizer I got. Tried to synthesize top fertilizer, results. Tips displayed before your eyes. Your top fertilizer has reached the highest level and cannot be synthesized into higher level fertilizers. Have you reached the top level yet? Lu Shu showed a thoughtful expression. It seems that if we want to increase the growth speed of the sacred tree, we may have to start from other aspects. In the next 2 or 3 days, Lu Shu will be in the outer area. Conduct a sweep. I have to say, the scope of the howling abyss is simply too large. Just sweeping the outermost area took a lot of time. Finally, the last netherworld magician fell in front of Lu Shu. Next is the inner layer of howling abyss. Open the panel. Remaining time for Grey Realm invasion, 2 days. Time is running out. Lu Shu frowned slightly. Even if he wants to sweep, it won't be enough to sweep the inner area. If that's the case, then first drag the SSS-level Lord monsters in the inner area to his own sacred tree island and slowly deal with them. Lu Shu raised the dead soul bone staff and held the soul control order. The mighty army of dead souls immediately dispersed and rushed toward the inner area of the wailing abyss and towards the position of the SSS-level Lord. Spread out the army of dead souls to explore. Although some people will die on the way, the total amount is too much. Lu Shu sends out only the lowest level dead souls. The impact of the death of these dead souls on the entire army can be said to be very great. Small. Ding. Your fruit of life has been hatched. Ding. You got nether fruit X1. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. After this period of exploration, the fruit of life has been hatched. Other than that, the newly obtained nether fruit has matured. The number of career fruits from the other 2 sacred trees also reached 3. There is still some time left before the combined number of 7. Lu Shu thought slightly and took back the army of dead souls. I quickly explored the innermost area of the wailing abyss, and directly found the locations of 10 SSS-level Lord monsters through the Marauder's map. Next, you only need to wait for these Lord monsters to go to their own copy before killing them. Generally speaking, Lord monsters will receive additional bonuses in their territory. If it reaches its own sacred tree island, it will be weakened. Killing them is even easier. After doing all this, Lu Shu sent the large army back to the sacred tree island through the teleportation array. In addition to life fruits and netherworld fruits, the 2 maturation periods of advanced growth fruits are also completed during this period. Advanced growth fruit adds 600. Including the 50 eaten by the crane and the golden dragon koi. Lu Shu has a total of 650 advanced growth fruits. It's time to give these pets a dose. As a teleportation light curtain descended, the large army from the Grey Realm returned to the sacred tree island. Time remaining until Grey World invasion, 1 day. World public screen. There's only 1 day left, luckily I'm back. Every time, I'm on the edge between life and death. Damn it, I'm lost. I'm not going to die, am I? Condolences for upstairs. Poor child, in order to explore the dungeon, he couldn't even go back to the sacred tree island. When exploring the Grey Realm dungeon, the most important thing is to figure out the way, or go directly to the trading interface and buy a teleportation ability. I envy the bosses who have the power of teleportation. They don't have to fight so desperately back and forth between the two lines to escape. I remember that some time ago on the Sacred Tree Island, there were still people selling teleportation fruits, but now they can't sell them. Nonsense. In the early stage of the Sacred Tree Island, everyone had nothing, but they were willing to sell the teleportation fruits. Now the price has risen to an unimaginable level. Yes, everyone already has the fruit. Doesn't the value of the delivered fruit have to be doubled several times? I envy those big guys who can have the teleportation fruit in the early stage. They don't have to desperately try like us in the cycle of life and death. To be honest, if there is a teleportation fruit, you don't have to worry about the return journey. The exploration distance can definitely be doubled, and the benefits will be unimaginable. Damn it, I just realized this. I sell teleportation fruits. I feel like I lost blood in the early stage. I will never sell these things cheaply again. It's all your fault. You say these things in the forum every day, which makes a stupid kid become smarter. You also let us old fools, how can we collect wool? Every time when the invasion of the Grey World is about to come. In the Sacred Tree game, there are always a group of Sacred Tree Masters who are exploring the Grey World and start running crazily towards their hometown. Some Sacred Tree Masters even failed to make it back due to miscalculations, or were completely lost, and countless of them died in the Grey World. There are 1 billion Sacred Tree Masters, and I don't know if there are even 1/10 of the remaining ones. So far, most of the Sacred Tree Masters who can survive have 2 brushes. Then, the teleportation fruit becomes valuable. At the beginning, the value of the teleportation fruit was not optimistic, but now if I want to redeem it, I am afraid I will have to bankrupt it. Lushu's eyes also moved slightly. In the early stages of the Divine Tree game, I traded in exchange for a teleportation fruit. It seemed like a wise choice. Now, the strategic value of teleportation fruits is comparable to S-level fruits. It seems that I used a few spiritual energy fruits to redeem them, and I was going to make a lot of money. At this time, the Sacred Tree Master of World Public Screen suddenly talked about the ranking list, which naturally involved the Tree Raider who was number 1 on the list. What do you think? How many defense points can the tree-playing boss get this time? Don't say so much, just look at the plate and you will know. Now many Sacred Tree Masters have begun to beat the Tree Master to get tens of millions of points. This is normal. Last time I got 6 million defense points. What's wrong with a small breakthrough this time and getting 10 million points? There is a 15 million point plate next door. Do you want to bet on it? Come on, 15 million is too exaggerated, right? That's right. And there doesn't seem to be any new first kill achievement rewards for Lusha boss recently. Are you crazy? Everyone has already beaten through all the Abyss level dungeons. Do you know what the next level is? Nightmare level. Upstairs is fine, even the Nightmare level dungeon knows about it. Anyway, I tried to get some information and found that the Nightmare level dungeon not only has a lot more monsters than the Abyss level dungeon, but also a bunch of S-and level Lord monsters, and not a boss. Whoever can overthrow a Nightmare level copy at this stage would truly be a god. Damn it, there are a bunch of S-and level. I almost vomited when I fought S-level monsters. Emotionally, S-and level monsters are not even boss in dream level dungeons. S-level monsters are just little monsters in Nightmare level dungeons. The difficulty of this dungeon is too terrifying. Even if Big Tree Master wants to pass such a dungeon, it will take some time to grow, right? Yes, how could someone be able to challenge a dungeon of this level so quickly? Do you think they are playing with a full level account? Watch the chat above. Lushu originally wanted to get a 15 million plate to play with. According to his own estimate, the defense points this time would be around 15 million. What I didn't expect was, a bunch of sacred tree masters voted for the 15 million plate. The ratio is not high. Even if you place a bet, you won't make much money. Lu Shu was speechless. These people really trust themselves. 15 million points, just vote. However, in addition to this plate, Lu Shu also found that there was a divine tree master who voted that he could not be ranked first this time. It can only be said that these people have the mentality of gamblers, specifically working against other sacred tree masters, hoping to make big money with a small amount of money and get rich overnight. Lu Shu smiled and didn't care about anything. The sacred tree master who thought this way soon let his points let them know what kind of price an unrealistic gambler should pay. At this time, the fruit of life has also been successfully hatched. A prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Your life fruit is hatched, Squirtle at 100. Squirtle. Type, Pokemon. Powers, Rocket Headbutt, Water Cannon, Impact. Physique, A. Speed, B+. Mentality, D. Comprehensive potential, Brew. Shu's eyes moved slightly. The newly born pet turns out to be the Pokemon Squirtle. The attributes seem to be a little worse than those of Dunkong Fox. Logically speaking, the life fruit hatched from a higher level sacred tree should be more powerful. It shouldn't be. Let's feed the advanced growth fruits first. Lu Shu distributed 100 advanced growth fruits to the Squirtles. Ba. Ba. 3 times 5 divided by 2. Squirtle ate all the advanced growth fruits. The pet popped up in front of him. Panel, got updated. Squirtle. Type, Pokemon. Powers, Rocket Headbutt, Water Cannon, Impact, Foam Light, New. Physical, A+. Speed, A. Mental, D. Overall potential, A. Got a new superpower. At this time, Lu Shu felt a little surprised. It turns out that Squirtle can gain new powers after eating the advanced growth fruit. Although the growth potential at the beginning does not seem very high. But if you swallow the growth fruits can obtain new superpower attributes. In that case, Squirtle's upper limit is actually quite good. Moreover, Squirtle's innate physique is very strong, and it is a pet that can gain strong combat power by relying on its physical body. Coupled with the new abilities that are constantly being acquired, it is also quite good in terms of combat effectiveness. At this time, a teleportation light curtain came. The large troops from the Grey World also came back. When Pikachu and the other little guys came back, they saw that new companions appeared on the Sacred Tree Island, and they immediately came up to say hello. There seemed to be a connection and induction between Pokemon. Soon, these little guys got together and became familiar with each other. You also go and eat the advanced growth fruits. Lu Shu called Pikachu, Yumi, and the little white fox to go over and eat the growth fruits. These little guys each received 100 advanced growth fruits. There were a total of 300 advanced growth fruits, and they were eaten just like that. Very quickly. Quick. All the attributes of pets have been improved. Pikachu. Type, Pokemon. Power, 100,000 volts, shock fruit. Physical, A. Speed, S. Spirit, S. Comprehensive potential, SS. UMI. Type, Magic Cat. Powers, hitting and blocking, fishing missile, UMI possession, high energy, final chapter of the grimoire, shining fruit. Physical, A. Speed, A+. Spirit, S. Comprehensive potential, SS. Escape fox. Type, elf. Power, void teleportation, hostile perception, void crack, dark fruit. Physique, B+. Speed, A+. Spirit, S. Comprehensive potential, SS+. Open the Divine Tree panel. Product, devil fruit. Production cycle, 4 days, 2600/650. The next fruit is the devil fruit again. Lu Shu's eyes lit up slightly. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 87. With the devil fruit, the strength of my pet army can be improved again. I wonder what kind of devil fruit I can get this time. Correct. There are also 250 advanced growth fruits. Lu Shu's mind moved slightly. His eyes were on the crane. The level of the crane has reached the 4th level. It also requires 20,000 evolution points to reach the 5th level. 250 growth fruits are enough for the crane to reach the 5th level. Let these 2 mythical creatures reach the 5th level. After thinking for a while, Lu Shu chose to feed all the advanced growth fruits to the crane. Bah! Bah! The crane has reached a certain level of cultivation, even though it is quite small. But the speed of eating it is not at all as fast as the golden dragon brocade. How much slower is the carp? 3 times 5 divides 2. 200 advanced growth fruits were eaten by the crane. Buzz buzz. A strange buzzing sound suddenly came from the crane's body. Lu Shu was surprised to find, there is actually Taoyuan circulating in the body of the crane. After being promoted to the 5th level, the crane's understanding has been greatly improved. At the same time, a burst of brilliance cleans the whole body of the crane. The realm has broken through to the innate realm. Lu Shu's eyesight slightly moved. A pet panel appeared in front of me. Enlightenment crane. Category, mythical creature. Level, level 5. Cultivation level, innate level 1. Blessing aura, comprehension add 200. Evolution points, 1000. Evolution points required to upgrade to level 4, 100,000. When the level of the crane is upgraded to the innate realm. Bodhi tree. The enlightenment point has reached 10,500 at this time. There are only 10,000 evolution points left to evolve to a high level. Xianhe's improved understanding allowed Lu Shu to break through the bottleneck of his cultivation. It's time to use the golden elixir fruit. Lu Shu felt his bottleneck and suddenly relaxed. The improvement of his understanding makes his current state of mind quite suitable for a breakthrough in cultivation. Not long ago, 100 intermediate golden elixir fruit trees that have reached the production cycle have not yet been swallowed. Use the synthesis skill. Lu Shu synthesized 100 intermediate golden elixir fruits into 10 high-level golden elixir fruits. Then combine 10 high-grade golden elixir fruits into 1 top-grade golden elixir fruit. Take a bite, the taste of the best golden elixir fruit is full of richer fragrance. That moment, Lu Shu suddenly felt the ultimate deliciousness that was like being in a fairyland. When he opened his eyes again, a golden light bloomed all over his body. The aura of the golden elixir realm climbed upward again. Breakthrough to the 5th level of Jindan. There was a smile on the corner of Lu Shu's mouth. Naturally, it would not be a bad thing to have stronger abilities. When he completely breaks through to the golden elixir, his mental power may be further improved. Purple Chi power. At this moment, Lu Shu only needs one glance to make the enemy fall into the illusion. Even against some super powerful boss, the power of purple eyes can play a good role. The attack of illusion has a considerable impact on some monsters that are immune to attacks. Effect. Kill the opponent directly at the spiritual level, and even kill people invisible. If the attainment is high enough, the effect it can produce will be quite explosive. At this time, the golden dragon koi also swam back from the coast. It seems that it senses the turmoil in the grey world. The golden dragon and koi no longer wander around the border. Lu Shu noticed that the golden dragon koi seemed to have brought back something good. Come to the coast. The golden dragon koi saw Lu Shu's approaching figure and opened its mouth to vomit. Another treasure box appeared in front of Lu Shu. But, the color of this treasure chest is actually made of diamonds. You have obtained a diamond-level treasure chest. Do you want to open it? Yes. The next second. The moment the treasure chest was opened, a burst of bright light burst out. Lu Shu's eyes were flashed fiercely. Ding Qing took a look. It's actually a fishing rod. Lu Shu was stunned. What does it mean when a treasure chest opens a fishing rod for yourself? Do you still want to go fishing? The information panel of the fishing rod pops up in front of you. Deep sea fishing rod. Grade, diamond level. Function, place the fishing rod on the coast, and every 3 days, the fishing rod will fish out unexpected treasures from the deep sea. The deeper you explore the deep sea, the better treasures you can catch with your fishing rod. There is such a treasure. Lu Shu was slightly startled. He suddenly realized that in this deep sea, there might be an endless treasure waiting for him to explore. From the information of deep sea fishing rod, as long as the deep sea explored, the distance the deeper you go, the higher the grade of the treasure chest you explore. It is conceivable that during this period, the golden dragon and koi probably dived very deep into the seabed to get a diamond-level treasure chest. If there is a chance, it seems that we need to explore the deep sea. Lu Shu thought. At this time, 100 Squirtles crawled towards the coast. Jenny! Squirtle screamed. Lu Shu's expression moved slightly. He recognized Squirtle and seemed to want to go to the sea. This Pokemon became interested in the deep sea. Lu Shu smiled and said, "Let's talk about it later, now. Not safe yet." Jenny. Squirtle nodded, understanding what Lu Shu meant. After the invasion of the Grey World is over, you can resonate with Squirtle and explore what the deep sea is like. Lu Shu's heart moved secretly. Whenever the Grey World invades, this sea area will be shrouded in grey fog again. The sea seems to have some connection with the grey fog. It is also a space worth exploring. In this case, Lu Shu has become somewhat interested in the deep sea. But now is not the time to explore. Lu Shu first asked the golden dragon koi and Squirtle to return to the island. The artificial river channel and the piranha flowers have been arranged by Lu Shu. Expansion was carried out. When the Grey World invades, the golden dragon koi can temporarily inhabit the artificial river. It will be sent back to the sea later. After doing all this, Lu Shu looked at the divine tree teleportation array. By the way, nether fruit. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. He almost forgot. There is also a newly produced superpower fruit on another sacred tree island, which has not been taken. A teleportation light curtain descended. Lu Shu heads to the Netherworld island. The Netherworld sacred tree has already grown a Netherworld fruit. It looks as deep as the underworld. Lu Shu stepped forward. Pick the nether fruit and bite it in one bite. You swallowed a nether fruit and obtained the nether body. Nether body, S-level. It can assimilate the body with dark attributes, making it immune to physical damage to a certain extent. The body can quickly recover when it receives non-restraint damage. With the addition of this S-level ability. Now, even if Lu Shu does not need the protection of a guardian spirit, there will be no problems when Lu Shu enters the nether realm. His body has transformed into the underworld. Naturally, you will not be affected by these attacks. And his level of cultivation and talent make him completely different from the Divine Tree Master Netherworld. Its own fighting ability is also quite powerful. Combined with the special effects of Netherworld body, it can play a greater role on the battlefield. The information about the Netherworld sacred tree has also been updated. Product, spiritual fruit. Production cycle, 4 days, 2600/650. I tried to use the power of the Netherworld fruit. Lu Shu's body suddenly turned into the state of the dark attribute energy. If a physical attack, including magic attack, falls on a body with dark attributes, it will be neutralized. Used to save lives and resist specific dungeon monsters, it works wonders. Lu Shu smiled. The most important thing is, he has also awakened the profession of a priest. Even if other sacred tree masters use the Holy Light System's abilities, they will be offset by his use of the profession of a priest. It is a monster-level existence that stands and outputs output to other sacred tree masters, and no one else can kill it. After getting familiar with the power of the nether fruit again, Lu Shu is quite satisfied with it. The nether body is just the beginning. There will be more to come. More netherworld abilities are waiting to be unlocked. Return to the sacred tree island. Lu Shu threw most of the equipment dropped from the dungeon during this exploration of the Grey World onto the 5-color altar. It didn't take long. The 5 sacred stones on the 5-color altar were all lit up. Ding! You have activated all the sacred stones in the 5-color altar. Number of remaining luck critical hits, 1. At the same time, after all 5 sacred stones were lit, these sacred stones dimmed for a few seconds before being lit again. There are a lot of diamond-level equipment dropped. Such an astonishing amount and grade of equipment are thrown into the 5-color altar, and the effect can be imagined. After lighting up a luck critical strike, the sacred stone on it is still lighting up. It was only when it reached the 4th sacred stone that it stopped. There is one last sacred stone left. A smile appeared on the corner of Lu Shu's mouth. Even if this luck critical hit is used up, the next critical hit will be unlocked immediately. After making sufficient preparations, just at this moment, Lu Shu popped up in front of him a tip. The invasion of the Grey World is about to begin. World public screen. It's finally here. This time, I accidentally broke into an abyss-level dungeon, and an army was about to attack my island. It was so exciting. Wow! The leader of the rankings suddenly appeared upstairs. Now, have the big guys on the list started to bring all the abyss-level bosses to the island? Dante, tell me, going to the Grey World to conquer the abyss-level dungeon by yourself is equivalent to going to someone else's lair to cause trouble for someone else. But if you bring over the abyss dungeon, you will be playing against the opponent in your hometown, and the effect will definitely be different. Damn it, there is such an operation, the bosses are so awesome. Not only that, if you drag the boss to the island and kill it, not only can you get similar rewards, but these points can also be calculated into ranking points, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Why didn't I do this sooner? Ah, I regret it. I should have learned a few more tricks from the boss. Don't think too much, it's the privilege of the boss to play like this. If monsters from the Grey World invade your sacred tree and eat your sacred tree in one bite, you will regret it. What? Will monsters eat sacred trees? I have a friend who is a sacred tree master. He overturned the last time he pulled a monster and failed to protect the island. The monster entered his territory and ate his sacred tree. It evolved instantly and became extremely terrifying. If you persuade people to pull monsters, the sky will strike like lightning. If you are not a divine tree master with the city defense talent, it is best not to pull the copy over casually. There are too many monsters for you to control. Oh my god, those monsters in the rankings can get such high points. Are they just dragging the monsters to the sacred tree island? How many monsters do they have to pull to get such points? Horrible, it's hard to imagine what kind of supernatural talents they have awakened, and how dare they play like this. Looking at the points obtained by Mr. Lushu last time, I deeply feel the gap between people. It turns out to be such a huge disparity. The chat box of Shensha game. Some big names who usually don't show much enthusiasm have also come out during this preparation period. There are many techniques that have been discovered by masters in the early stages, such as pulling monsters. Until now, there are still many sacred tree masters who don't know. If it hadn't been for the invasion of the Grey World, some big guys who loved Versailles would occasionally bubble up and share their experiences. Then other low-level sacred tree masters might never know that such an operation existed. They also realize now, even if they know how to pull monsters, they still have to protect the sacred tree. And monsters from the gray world will eat the sacred tree. Monsters that eat the sacred tree will mutate. Get extremely powerful attributes. This information surprised them. Lu Shu opened the world public screen and showed a thoughtful look. This was also the first time he knew that monsters could eat sacred trees. However, even so, Lu Shu didn't have much to worry about. The defense line of your own island is extremely strong. There are also a lot of troops to destroy all kinds of monsters. The strength of the pets has been greatly improved. With the attribute bonuses of the mythical buildings and the TNG array, coupled with the gains in the gray world during this period, defending the island is not a problem at all. The dark clouds in the sky suddenly appeared towards the sacred tree island. The gray fog on the coast is also compressing towards the island. The gray fog stopped when it compressed to the seaside. At this time, a huge army of monsters surged out of the gray mist. At the same time, a prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu. The third gray world invasion has begun. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 88. The next second. From the gray fog. The first wave that came in was the undead and zombies. Basically, they are just cannon fodder sent to death. Although the number seems huge, but the purple spirit mine outside the island is enough to keep these monsters out. With the attack power of the undead and zombies, even the purple spirit mine could not break through and was blocked outside. Boom! The spiritual cannon in the distance fired missiles powered by spiritual energy. Attacking on the masses of dead souls and zombies, just one attack can take away a large group of monsters. Various information about killing monsters kept popping up in front of him. In just 1 minute, Lu Shu's defense points had exceeded 100,000 points. Next, Grey Fog seemed to feel that Lu Shu's island was too strong. After the previous wave of bombardment, then, the monsters that came out of the grey mist were B-level to A-level souls. There was also a part of the demon army that came out of the grey mist. You know, demons, as a relatively advanced type of monster, usually only appear on the 2nd or 3rd day. Not long after Lu Shu's first day, he had already encountered such a high-level monster. One can imagine. During this period, he pulled many monsters into the Grey World Island. The demon moved very fast. It is difficult for the Xiling Mine's defense line to stop a monster of this level. A-level to B-level revenants can also break through the purple spirit mine's defense line and enter the second line of defense. The figures of the dead souls surged towards the sacred tree. However, the next second, some vines with demonic auras suddenly wrapped around the dead souls walking out of the grey mist. The dead soul seemed to be pulled, and moved closer to the ground involuntarily. What awaits the dead souls is the ferocious mouth of the devil flower. Click. Take one bite. Chew slowly. These high-level dead souls are just more delicious food in the eyes of the devil flower. Even in the grey world without rules, there are still laws of natural selection. The devil flower is the nemesis of the dead souls. Not only can it directly suck the dead souls over and swallow them in one gulp, but it can also be strengthened. After eating these monsters, they suddenly grew in size. Your devil flower has eaten enough dead souls to evolve into a giant devil flower. Good guy, he has evolved. Lu Shu moved his gaze to the direction of the devil flower. After devouring a sufficient quantity and quality of dead souls, the devil flower changed from its original A-level danger factor to an A+ level giant devil flower. Not only was it larger in size, you can even swallow 2 dead souls at once. The picture does not look too cruel. In the other 3 sacred tree islands, the Shadow Sacred Tree and the Undead Magic Sacred Tree, basically no monsters appear. However, the island of the Netherworld Divine Tree, there were quite a few monsters coming to attack. Seeing that the dead souls here had almost been eaten, Lu Shu transferred all the nearby devil flowers to the netherworld island through the teleportation array. The giant devil flowers began a new round of devouring, continuously evolving. It seems that we are just a little short of evolving again. What a pity. The level of the dead soul on the first day seems to limit the evolution of the giant devil flower. It must devour an S level to break the last threshold. After the undead and zombies are swept away, the next more troublesome thing is the demons. Especially Flame Imp. This kind of demon has great jumping ability and can also throw fireballs. Suddenly, a freezing breath enveloped the nearby Flame Imp. Ash. These ice peas with freezing properties made the flaming imp's movements become slower and slower. Boom. There was a loud noise in the distance. The destruction mushroom exploded. The nearby flame imp was instantly killed by the explosion of the destruction mushroom. This explosion is equivalent to a hit from a psychic cannon. The ice shooter not only slows down the movement speed of all the flame imps, but also cancels the fire attribute effects on them. Their movement speed has slowed down, and the psychic cannon has played a great role. He kept bombarding the demon, very quickly. The demons on the field gradually became cleaner. The situation is almost over now. At this time, Pikachu came to the side of the defense line and used 100,000 volts to kill all the monsters blocked outside the defense line. Sizzle. Sizzle. Lightning flashed. All the dead souls and zombies were killed under such terrifying lightning. At this point, the monsters on the battlefield have been almost cleared. Lu Shu opened the panel, defense points, 1,129,999, 1 million defense points. On the first day alone, the defense points gained exceeded 1 million. The appearance of high-level monsters, such as demons and other monsters, provided Lu Shu with a lot of defense points. The last enemy was taken care of, not long after. Dungeon reward pops up in front of Lu Shu. Congratulations on successfully resisting the Grey Realm invasion on the first day. Get Primary Fertilizer X 1000, Intermediate Fertilizer X 500, and Advanced Fertilizer X 100. Obtain Mid-Level Wood X 10,000, Mid-Level Ore X 5,000. Get X10 Searchlight Torch. Get the top skill illustration, Cooking. A top-level skill illustration was revealed. Lu Shu's face lit up instantly. This means that his cooking skills can be improved again. If he wants to eat limited edition delicacies in the future, he will have to pay more. Choosing to learn top cooking. Yes. The next second, a skills panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Cooking. Level, top. Function, it can bring out the ultimate taste of food to the greatest extent, making people feel endless aftertaste and unforgettable. This effect is amazing. Lu Shu couldn't help laughing. He wasn't a foodie himself. No matter how good the food was, he would forget it after a while. He could still have unforgettable cooking skills. Wait until this time after the Grey Realm invasion copy is over, you must give it a try to see what kind of strength this top-level cooking can bring out. Today's battle ended extremely early. The battle on the Netherworld Sacred Tree Island has also ended. All the monsters were swallowed up by the giant devil flower. Now, the sunlight has returned to the Netherworld Sacred Tree Island. The sacred tree there can start producing again. The next spiritual fruit is still 3 or 4 days away. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. Today's battle was just like a warm-up battle. Basically, they relied on magical plants and various city defense missiles to defeat their opponents. Except for Pikachu's release of 100,000 volts, go and clean up the monsters blocking the city gate. Basically there is no challenge. It is much easier than before. Mythology architecture really helped me a lot. Lu Shu sighed with emotion. The bonus of the mythical building has given the large forces in the Divine Tree Island a very high attribute bonus. With the help of the TNG formation and the spiritual cannon, various bombings on the opponent. You don't even need Lu Shu. Shu personally took action, and the enemy was basically eliminated. Taking advantage of this period of time, Lu Shu even had the leisure to open the world public screen to see how other sacred tree masters were doing. Oh my god, I finally killed these cheating monsters. If I had known better, I wouldn't have gone so far to the grey world. I almost died. The low-level fertilizers and wood dropped are useless. High-level monsters cannot be defeated, and the output of low-level monsters is very limited. Yes, these skill illustrations have been revealed several times, and now you can't exchange them for anything even if you throw them into the trading interface. To be honest, there is a bit of a surplus of primary fertilizers now. Everyone has almost enough and there is no end to it. There is no point in exploding these anymore. We still have to attract more powerful monsters. Hehe, I have discovered the skill of low-level synthesis. I can synthesize 50 packs of primary fertilizer into intermediate fertilizer. I am envious of the person upstairs who showed such good skills. Wait, in the current trading market, instead of 30 packs of primary fertilizer, you have to exchange 1 pack of intermediate fertilizer. Why do you feel like your skills are still at a loss? Damn it, it's true. Ha 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 ha, why do you have to tell this cruel fact? Wouldn't it be better to let that person synthesize it? In fact, it is useful to explode this skill. If you upgrade to advanced synthesis, you should be able to make money, but it is estimated that not many people can explode this skill. Alas, I envy you for your leisurely discussion. This time I missed out on the rankings. I only scored 50,000 points on the first day. The gap between me and the top players in the rankings is really huge. The real Versailles boss upstairs made 50,000 UN on the first day. If I could get 50,000 points in this life, I would laugh so hard. The cute newbies who are satisfied with living hug each other for warmth and shiver. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. At this stage, many sacred tree masters have encountered a very embarrassing situation. Ordinary output can no longer meet their needs. Low-grade products such as primary fertilizers are already in surplus at the current stage. However, some items with relatively large bonuses can only be obtained by a few sacred tree masters with powerful talents, and it is impossible to exchange them with these secondary materials. The gap between the divine tree games will only get bigger and bigger. We still need to quickly conquer more and more advanced dungeons. Lu Shu sighed inwardly. After this dungeon is over, he will immediately go and clear the nightmare level dungeon. Otherwise, if the output reaches a bottleneck, he will not be able to break through to a higher level and kill more monsters. That is also an ineffective way to kill monsters. And in the ranking list, only the reward for the top one is the most valuable. The invasion of the Grey World begins the next day. Rest and wait for a while. Soon, a new round of fighting begins again. The next day, most of the monsters that emerged from the grey fog reached the A-level. The first wave of attacking monsters is the demons. Demon soldiers, demon generals, all kinds of monsters that have almost reached the A-level danger coefficient began to emerge from the grey world. Some revenants even have special skills. Even the devil flower cannot wrap around them immediately. Uami, possessed by Pikachu, is ready to release skills to assist in the battle at any time. Pikachu, use the power of the shock fruit to deal with demons, and use 100,000 volts to deal with undead monsters. The little white fox first roams around the battlefield. If it sees monsters with A and an S level danger coefficients, it will kill them and support its teammates. Lu Shu gave the order. Soon, my pet army started to kill. Squirtle also ran in front of the plant's defense line at this time. Although Squirtle's current superpowers are not very strong, his physical attributes are truly powerful. When you see a magic soldier in front of a magical plant, just bump into it with a turtle shell. It directly knocked the entire body of the opposite monster away. It's like it has turned into a new barrier to protect your own shooters in battle. With the blessing of mythical architecture, the psychic cannon has become the main output equipment. Killing monsters below S level is no problem. The firepower output is particularly fierce. If the attributes of various demon soldiers and generals were encountered by other sacred tree masters, they would probably be in trouble. However, under Lushu's firepower, no matter how many A-level monsters there are, they have now become cannon fodder. The island's defense line has become extremely terrifying and difficult to break through. The little white fox's spiritual power is very valuable. Using the power of the dark fruit consumes a lot of money. Therefore, the little white fox always chooses the strongest monster to attack. Whenever an A and grade elite monster appears in the monster group, at this time, the little white fox will use the dark fruit to directly and accurately harvest the lives of the elite monster. There is no need to use any strength at all. These elite monsters are often killed before they even get close to the battlefield. Lushu's clone joined the battlefield. Now, he is blessed by the divine power of the clergy. Use Light Blast. Even without attribute restraint, the monster hit by the explosion will still suffer fatal damage. And his magic sword Thousand Blades transformed into 1,000 blades, frantically harvesting opponents on the battlefield. His cultivation in the Golden Core realm made his attack power extremely terrifying. Any monster swept by the blade will basically be killed. The elegant and easygoing crane also joined the battlefield. It is unimaginable that this guy can be quite ferocious when fighting. With those wings, chasing the enemy will give you a severe beating. Tisk tisk. The picture is simply incompatible. After a burst of fighting, open the panel, defense points, 456,88884.5 million points. And, the next day's battle wasn't over yet, right now. 3 huge monsters walked out of the gray fog. S-class Lord class monsters finally appear on the scene. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 89. The 3 S-class lords were huge in size. They stood at the 3 corners of the island, like 3 giants, and launched an attack on the sacred tree in the center of the island. Use 1,000 blades of magic sword and holy light explosion. Lushu swept away the surrounding demon soldiers. Focus on the 3 S-class lord monsters. Uami possessed Pikachu and Little White Fox respectively. Pikachu, go deal with that S-class fear demon. Little White Fox, activate the power of the dark fruit to kill the bloodthirsty devil instantly. There is also a Uami possessing me. Lushu immediately commanded. Soon, one of them, Uami, immediately turned into a flash of light and escaped into Lushu's body. A shadow of Yumi appeared behind him. The battlefield is divided into 3 parts. Pickup truck, 100,000 volts. Coming to the side of the S-class Fear Demon Soul. Pikachu instantly released the most powerful lightning attack. As the Thunder Dragon-like lightning landed, the Fear Demon Soul let out a sharp cry. The Fear Demon Soul is launching the ear-piercing demonic sound. However, with Pikachu's current mental strength, this attack has no effect at all. Uami is still releasing the sparkling fruit and the final chapter of the grimoire next to her. A series of attacks continue. The Fear Demon Soul soon couldn't hold on any longer. The psychic cannon took care of the other monsters, and then aimed at the S-class lord, continuously launching the spiritual cannon. At this time, the Tianji formation also transformed into a Tai Chi yin and yang diagram. This power can purify evil spirits and have a considerable weakening effect on the demon soul. S-level monsters are a difficult boss to deal with in other abyss-level dungeons, but for Lushu now, they are just a slightly more troublesome enemy. Pikachu swallowed the growth fruit, and after being improved, its attack power became even more terrifying. Soon, The soul of the fearful demon soul gradually dissipates. You killed the dread demon soul and gained add 1 million defense points. You killed the bloodthirsty demon king and gained add 1 million defense points. 2 prompts sounded in succession. It wasn't just Pikachu's battlefield where reports of success came. The little white fox also ended the battle quickly. The only troublesome thing about the bloodthirsty demon king is that he activates the blood demon skill, sucking it in while fighting, and his vitality is extremely terrifying. Pity. The opponent it encountered was the little white fox. And there are 100 little white foxes who have unlocked the power of the dark fruit. The endless black death light immediately enveloped the bloodthirsty demon king. Even worse than the fate of the fear demon soul. The bloodthirsty demon king was instantly killed by the power of the dark fruit without even using a single skill. 2 million points, this time. On the other side of the battlefield, Lu Shu personally dealt with the split demon king. This kind of demon has a very troublesome skill, which is to split its body into thousands of small pieces. Each clone has an independent life, and its combat power is between a level and A and level. It is a quite troublesome boss. Different clones can also combine skills with each other. However, Lu Shu raised his hand and added a holy light blessing to himself. The divine attributes exploded immediately. Subsequently, take out the Holy Sword of War. This weapon, specially designed to restrain demon soldiers, split into thousands of fragments with the use of 1,000 blades of demonic swords. Each fragment caused restraint-type critical damage to these clones. Not long after, all the clones of the split demon king were killed by Lu Shu. If other sacred tree masters were to deal with such a troublesome thing, I'd be afraid that by the end of 3 days, the other sacred tree masters would have finished fighting, and he hadn't finished the battle yet. He could fight for a year. A prompt pops up in front of you. You killed the split demon and gained add 1 million defense points. Then clean up all the monsters around, wait until the last enemy falls. Now. Lu Shu opens the panel. Defense points, 711,0098. 7 million points. On the second day, this had already exceeded the previous total points. The real big head is still behind. On the third day, in the Grey Fog, there will be a nightmare-level dungeon lord monster. The monsters there are at least A and level. What's more, he has to face the simultaneous attacks of 10S plus level lord monsters. For Lu Shu, this is also a fierce battle. However, with the blessing of the Sacred Tree Island, Lu Shu is still confident of destroying these opponents. Several prompts pop up in front of you. Congratulations on successfully resisting the Grey World battle on the second day. Obtain Demon Soldier Armor, Gold level, X120, Demon Soldier Boots, Gold level, X110, Demon Soldier Arm Guards, Gold level, X130. Obtain the Advanced Magic Weapon Skills Illustration Curse. Obtain the Demonic Soul Pendant, Extraordinary level, X1. Obtain the Bloodthirsty Demon King's Sword, Extraordinary level, X1. Obtain the Soul of the Split Demon King X1. Lu Shu threw all the newly acquired gold level equipment onto the 5-color altar. As for the extraordinary equipment, he will keep it for now. Its attributes are similar to those he obtained in the Grey World. Most of Lu Shu's current equipment has been replaced by extraordinary equipment. Soon, the sacred stone of the 5-color altar burst out with the last ray of light. Ding! You have activated all the sacred stones in the 5-color altar. Number of remaining lucky critical hits, 2. I've already had 2 lucky critical strikes. Lu Shu's eyes showed a hint of joy. He can now generate enough equipment. As long as he maintains the efficiency of exploring the Grey World, he will definitely be able to continue to light up the luck and critical strikes. Keep the luck at any time, maybe he can make some big discovery. Then, Lu Shu set his sights on the skill illustration. Choose to learn, the curse skill. After upgrading to a high level, he can use it to match his mental power level to do more damage to the enemy. Weakened. Then, Lu Shu set his sights on splitting the Demon King's soul. Split the Demon King's soul. Category, Special Gain Item. Function, within 10 minutes, gain the attribute of Split the Demon King. You can split your own body into 100 parts, each body has 10% of the attributes. Isn't this equivalent to a 10-fold increase in combat power? Lu Shu thought for a moment and suddenly discovered that he also had the skill of Angel Blessing. This blessing has a group effect. The Split Demon King's ability can temporarily divide himself into 1,000 pieces. Moreover, each skill is independent and stackable. In that case, if 1,000 of you use Angel Blessing at the same time, how big will the bonus be? Certainly. The effect of the buff will also be reduced to 1/10 of its original value. But if there are 100 superimposed effects, it will be doubled 10 times. Back and forth. This skill, which originally only had a 10-fold attribute increase at most, actually achieved a 100-fold overall increase effect with the blessing of Lu Shu's Angel Blessing skill. Wait until this Grey Fog battle is over. Go to Howling Abyss to kill the Lord of the Netherworld. This consumable can bring me a huge increase. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly, realizing the effect of splitting the Demon King's soul. World Public Screen. The monsters on the second day were so disgusting, they were so much stronger than the previous day. Upstairs, isn't this normal? No, I only had 50,000 defense points on the first day, and I had 500,000 defense points on the second day. Damn it, what did you do to raise your defense points so high? Pass T to the boss. 500,000 defense points, this is only the second day, you must be in the rankings. The leader of the rankings is actually by my side. It should be pulling monsters. I found a pattern. Generally speaking, the lower level monsters are on the first day. The monsters on the second day are upgraded to a higher level. Big names and boss level monsters all appear on the third day. I understand, this boss is a low level monster and is too lazy to kill. He explores more difficult high level dungeons, so the defense points on the second day are 10 times higher than those on the first day. It's easy to understand. I can't even understand the Big Brother's Versailles literature. My level is too low. Awesome. Is this the world of a boss? If I'm still fighting zombies on the third day, I might be hopeless. Upstairs, has he never stepped out of the gray world in his life? Do you really want to be invincible before you step out of the gray world? Alas, the chat box has become the domain of the bosses. I am a newbie and dare not speak. In fact, these rules are not necessarily correct. For example, I had to fight an A-end level boss the next day. It was really tough. I hope I can survive tomorrow. Another immortal from Versailles, he started fighting an A-end level boss the next day. How strong does he have to be to do all this? The boss above who fought the A-end level boss, can you tell me how many defense points you gained today? It's not much, just 1 million, that's too much. At this time, those who are in the mood to talk in the chat box are either salted fish who have given up completely, or they are bosses who have easily passed the level. The second day ended with a point. Many sacred tree masters who had killed high-level monsters began to show off their defense points. At this stage, as long as a divine tree master with relatively high talent and a way to find a way can skillfully use the island's mechanism to gain hundreds of thousands of defense points. Occasionally there are some familiar names, the masters who appeared in the rankings last time, and the points they showed are basically more than 1 million. Certainly. Lu Shu just glanced at these points casually. Most of the points that can be shown off are in the early 1 million. It's equivalent to the points you earned on the first day. Of course, Lu Shu did not relax just yet. The names at the top of the rankings have not appeared yet. Of course they would not disclose any information casually in a place like this. Lu Shu's competitors are also these sacred tree masters. The third day of Grey World battle begins. Finally, the final battle begins. From the grey mist, a large number of nether-type demon soldiers emerged. And the familiar descendants of the netherworld. Wailing abyss common monsters in the outer layer launched the first wave of attacks. At this time, the defense line was quickly breached. Nether-type monsters can turn their bodies into the power of dark matter. So, when you encounter these lines of defense, you can cross them instantly. Since it is not in the form of a spiritual body, the crystals in the purple spirit mine are ineffective against elemental bodies. Attacks from magical plants and powerful psychic cannons cannot pose a substantial threat to netherworld creatures. Seeing these monsters, they were about to rush towards the second line of defense. At this moment, Lu Shu immediately commanded. All members are ready. Get into battle formation. Pikachu, you am I, little white fox. Come and gather first. You are responsible for pulling all these monsters to one location. As soon as the words fell, Pikachu and other pets gathered around Lu Shu. With the release of an angel blessing, soon, the surrounding pets all received increases in all attributes. Moreover, their attacks now have it has a certain holy light effect. It can already have an impact on monsters of the netherworld. However, the effect is definitely not as direct and obvious as Lu Shu's holy light. Zizz. Zizz. On the field, the echoes are harsh. The sound of electric current. Each pet fights separately. The dark fruit of the little white fox can also have a certain degree of lethality against monsters of the netherworld. But Lu Shu did not let the little white fox take action. The dark fruit consumes too much, and it is also harmful to monsters of the same attribute. Resulting in damage ratio it is limited, so it is best to reserve your mental power and wait until the critical moment to use it. Just pull all the surrounding monsters into a range. The nearby nether demon soldiers and nether children, after being hurt, all rushed towards Lu Shu's direction. At this time, Lu Shu imposed a holy light blessing on himself. As a dazzling holy light descended, all nearby monsters were completely purified and turned into black mist and dispersed. You killed the netherworld demon soldier, and your defense points add 20,000. You killed the Sir of the netherworld, and your defense points add 50,000. Just by killing a monster, you can get tens of thousands of defense points. The income from nightmare-level monsters far exceeded Lu Shu's imagination. Using holy light, he killed a large wave of outer monsters, and then, the one who entered the island was the netherworld magician. Lu Shu was already familiar with this monster. He asked all the pets to retreat while he went to the front line in person. The dark magic of the nether mage can no longer have any impact on Lu Shu. Not to mention his nether suit, the nether body obtained by eating the nether fruit has made Lu Shu almost immune to the attacks of these magicians. The rest, just need to use holy light explosion repeatedly. Kill these magicians one by one to complete the battle. Boom! There was a violent noise. In the grey mist, two behemoths suddenly walked out. And Lord level monster. At this time, the most powerful combat power on the third day finally began to appear. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 90. Nether Sacrifice. Category, Demon, Nether Tribe, Sacrifice. Danger Coefficient, S+. Perception Range, 400 meters. Power, 1200. Speed, 1150. Defense, 920. Skills, Nether Body, Nether Sacrifice, Nether Summoning, Dark Reorganization, Dark Magic, Netherworld Field Description. In the Abyss, they are the most independent priests around the Lord of the Netherworld. They have the ability to summon the netherworld and spread the netherworld. All the descendants of the netherworld are their creations. Nether Demon Lord. Category, Demon, Nether Clan. Danger Coefficient, S+. Perception Range, 300 meters. Power, 1500. Speed, 1350. Defense, 1220. Skills, Nether Body, Demon Body, Quadruple Strengthening, Broken Arm Rebirth, Bloodline Rebirth, Dark Armor. Description: next to every Nether Priest, there will be a Nether Demon Lord as a guard. They have immortal bodies and are the best characters to rush in front and absorb damage. When the Netherworld sacrifice appeared on the Sacred Tree Island, a burst of obscure chanting floated over. A huge magic circle suddenly appeared on the ground. From the magic circle, hundreds of Netherworld demon soldiers, followed by a dozen Netherworld children, were summoned to the Sacred Tree Island. Holy Light Judgment. Lushu raised the Guardian Scepter. He directly used Holy Light Judgment to kill the summoned soldiers first, to prevent these troublesome guys from affecting the Sacred Tree Island. Then, Lushu used Holy Light Judgment. Light explosion was aimed at the sacrifice. A burst of explosions sounded. However, the Holy Light explosion only bombarded the body of the Netherworld Demon Lord. The Nether Demon Lord suffered damage. He immediately roared angrily. The dark armor on his body was cracked every inch. Along with the body of Netherworld Demon Lord, an ink-colored aura emerged. The Nether Demon Lord launched a fourfold enhancement. Attributes get a huge increase. Lushu's brows wrinkled slightly. The next second, he sacrificed the sacred sword of war and guardian scepter in his hands. Launch attacks of holy light and sword energy at the same time. Under a double blow, the Netherworld Demon Lord's body suddenly collapsed. Even with quadruple enhancement, it can't withstand Lushu's damage. Unexpectedly, the Nether Priest chanted a spell. All around, dark magic surges. Although the Nether Demon Lord's body was shattered by Lushu, but they were quickly reunited by the power of dark attributes. Lushu continued to unleash the same attack on the Netherworld sacrifice. The Netherworld Demon Lord is still standing in front of the Netherworld sacrifice. After taking the damage, Lushu's skills couldn't hit the priest. Seeing the body of the Netherworld Demon Lord, after being shattered by the holy light, it quickly became whole again. His brows wrinkled slightly. The Nether Demon Lord has the blood of the Demon Clan. He relies on the holy light technique and cannot be killed directly. However, its demon body can be instantly restored by the Nether sacrifice. As long as the Nether sacrifice is not eliminated, the Nether Demon Lord will basically be an unkillable existence. At this time, in every corner of the Grey Fog border, the other four Netherworld priests and Netherworld Demon Lord also came to the Sacred Tree Island at the same time. Suddenly, 5 summoning arrays appeared on the Sacred Tree Island. What followed was the attack of thousands of ghost monsters. At this time, Lushu had to become cautious about this. Arrange the other 2 clones to the Sacred Tree Island. Pikachu, you am I, little white fox. You all come here. As soon as he finished speaking, the pets immediately gathered around Lushu. The 3 Lushu released Angel Blessing at the same time. The effect was multiplied 3 times. Although Split Demon King's soul was not used, his body was divided into 2 parts. Thousands. But the effect is multiplied 3 times and affects the entire army. The effect is quite explosive. With the blessing of Angel Blessing, the combat power of all the troops has been greatly improved. Moreover, with the blessing of the Holy Light of Angel Blessing, Pikachu's electric abilities will now also deal holy light damage. Pikachu, go deal with these ghost troops first. Little White Fox, activate Void Teleport and use the power of the Dark Fruit to kill the Nether sacrifice immediately. Uami possesses the little white fox. At this time, the little white fox has to play the most critical role. Pikachu went to the secondary battlefield to deal with the monsters summoned by the priest. As soon as Lushu finished speaking, Pikachu and the little white fox started taking action one after another. It's not like you don't have to do anything after Uami is possessed. Release exuberant energy. Help the little white fox increase its speed to another level. Just for a moment, the little white fox suddenly came behind a netherworld priest. 100 little white foxes faced the netherworld sacrifice at the same time, releasing the power of the dark fruit with all their strength. Suddenly, the endless dark matter swallowed up the figure of the netherworld priest. Although it is an attack of the same attribute. However, this amount is multiplied by 100, plus the angel blessing released by 3 Lushu. In just a moment, the people of the netherworld sacrifice were gone. At this moment, Lushu launched an attack on the netherworld demon lord next to the dead netherworld priest in the shortest possible time. He discovered that the priest's resurrection could only affect the nearest guard. Once it exceeds the scope, or if it takes too long, then it cannot be reorganized. Therefore, the netherworld demon lord will never leave his sacrifice too far. You successfully killed the netherworld priest and your defense points add 2,000,000. You successfully killed the netherworld demon lord and your defense points add 2,000,000. The little white fox killed a netherworld priest. The next second, continue towards another netherworld sacrifice and initiate teleportation. Another devouring of the dark fruit. In a blink, there have been 2 netherworld priests killed in battle. Lushu killed the demon lord next to him again, quickly. There are only 3 netherworld priests and 3 netherworld demon lords left on the field. The nether priest seems to be aware of the danger. A burst of obscure mantras were chanted. The nether sacrifice activated the nether realm. When the 1 or 2 seconds of chanting the spell ends, the netherworld priest's side was suddenly shrouded in the netherworld realm. The other side of the divine tree island was plunged into darkness. Lushu's eyes narrowed. He also possesses a netherworld body. There is now a greater understanding of the role of the nether realm. The nether priest hid in the realm. Unless the little white fox kills in. However, in the opponent's field, you are likely to face danger. The nether priest hides in the realm, which is equivalent to escaping into his own safe area. It is difficult to find him. Unless you have a nether body, any existence that enters the nether realm will be completely deprived of vision. You will not be able to see the location of the nether sacrifice, and you will also face the risk of death. At this time, netherworld sacrifice, the priest released the summoning technique again. The nether demon soldier and the nether sacrifice fought out of the summoning array and continued to charge towards the sacred tree in the center of the island. 100,000 volts. Zizz. Zizz. How could Pikachu be so easy? Let the opponent succeed. As a burst of electricity roared past, all nearby monsters were killed. These mobs are not difficult to deal with, mainly the netherworld priest inside. If you don't give the score point to if you deal with it, you will only face endless monsters running out of the summoning circle. Suddenly, Lushu's guardian spirit jade pendant burst out with a burst of light. At this moment, the guardian spirit transformed into an angel's figure and headed towards the netherworld. Position, kill him. A burst of holy light curtain immediately dispersed the netherworld. The angel's blessing came to the world. Lushu's eyes suddenly lit up. It turns out that guardian spirits can fight at critical moments. Moreover, he can also disperse the surrounding nether realm. In this way, the little white fox can continue to attack. Wherever the holy light passed, all the darkness was dispersed. In the nether realm passed by the guardian angel, all areas receded, revealing the space inside. A netherworld priest appeared in the field of vision. The next second, An angel sword appeared in the hands of the guardian angel. With one sword strike, the bright sword light immediately enveloped the netherworld priest. The demon lord next to him wanted to block it. The next second, there were thousands of blades. Flew over from the side and pinned the demon lord to the ground. Lu Shu's eyes were cold. He had fallen into a misunderstanding just now. There was no need to kill the demon lord at all. He just needed to restrict the opponent's movements. And the 1,000 blades of the demonic knife can complete this task perfectly. Falling from the sky with a sharp blade purified by the holy light. The figure of the nether priest suddenly disappeared in the holy light. The third nether priest had been killed. Also dead at the same time was the guardian demon lord around him. At the same time, the little white fox teleported and instantly killed a netherworld priest again. There is only the last netherworld sacrifice left on the field. The little white fox's mental power was almost exhausted. However, the guardian angel headed towards the last netherworld priest and killed it. Cooperating with Lu Shu to complete the final kill is no longer a problem. A burst of obscure spells echoed on the field again. The nether priest activated dark magic. This guy seems to want to resist again. But under the double attack of Lu Shu and the guardian spirit, the nether sacrifice's skills were pale and weak, and the dark magic could not have any impact on Lu Shu and the guardian angel. Soon, the last enemy fell on the battlefield. Open the panel. Defense points. 30 million defense points. Just 5S and level netherworld sacrifice and 5S and level netherworld demon lord gave Lu Shu a 20 million points income. Including other monsters, this time, the score not only reached 30 million, but also increased by 500. It definitely crushed the whole crowd. I have to say, a nightmare level dungeon monster is pulled into the sacred tree island, and the bonus points gained from killing it are completely unmatched by ordinary monsters. It is finally over. Lu Shu took a long breath. The 3-day battle in the Grey World is finally over. The grey fog in the sky of the island gradually dissipated. The grey fog surrounding the sacred tree island retreated crazily towards the sea in the distance. It is conceivable that, after this battle, the area of the divine tree island will be greatly expanded. At the same time, this settlement reward popped up in front of Lu Shu. You successfully resisted this attack from the Grey World. Defense points ***. Comprehensive evaluation, SSS level. SSS exclusive rewards are being unlocked for you. Open SSS level rewards. A dazzling array of prizes suddenly popped up in front of Lu Shu. You have obtained the legendary ore, Suanwu ore X 25,000. You have obtained a special building, Holy Light Mirror X1. You have obtained the city defense item Holy Light Cannon X10. You got a rare seed, Watermelon Pitcher X100. You got a rare seed, Leaf Umbrella X100. You got a rare seed, Clover X100. You got a rare seed, Cactus X100. You got a rare seed, Hot Chili Pepper X100. The area of your sacred tree island has been expanded by 500 square kilometers. Ranking rewards will be issued when ranking points are announced. When the ranking points are announced, the Grey World will be opened again. Please stay on the island during this time, otherwise you will be responsible for the consequences. A legendary basalt mine actually exploded. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. As early as in the Bixiao Holy Land, Lu Shu had already collected 25,000 Suanwu ore. The SSS level reward that was opened this time actually collected the other half. In this way, Lu Shu's outermost defense line can be greatly improved. The legendary basalt mine can even keep out all monsters with risk factors of B and N below. The island defense line can also got a big expansion. Lu Shu walked towards the border of the island, preparing to carry out a large-scale upgrade of the defense line. The Xiling mine only needs to be broken down, and then it can be transferred to the second line of defense, his own the sacred tree island can be expanded step by step. When Lu Shu just arrived at the edge of the island, a prompt suddenly came in front of him. Your island has expanded and is connected to your shadow tree island. Your island has expanded and is connected to your undead magic tree island. The scope of your island has expanded and it has been connected to your netherworld sacred tree island. The scope of your island has expanded, and it has been connected to the sacred tree island of the sacred tree master Wan Jun. Other divine tree masters. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly.